Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, and good morning. How are you guys doing? Hope everyone's doing well. Um, let's see who we have in the chat. Let's get this thing going. Maverick says first. I love that. That's great. I think that's the first time I've had someone in a live chat say first. Oh no. What's up, Jen? Can't type very well today. I somehow injured my right wrist and have a brace on. Oh, wow. Well, I hope you feel better. I'm pretty good at deciphering comments, so I think I'll be able to figure out what you want to say, even if you make a mistake. Miss Carter's in the chat. Morning, y'all. Hope I'm not late. Had to shower before an appointment later today. All right. And what's up, Val? Val's in the chat too. All right. Angela's in the chat. What's going on, Angela? Good morning, everyone. If you're here and excited for the stream, make sure to like it and share. There we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Angela. All right. Val saying, who's excited about Kirby? That is actually one thing I want to touch upon. And I actually put a poll in the chat. So hopefully you guys get a chance to vote on it. And please, for any of the mods that are here, like you, Val, or anyone else, let me know what the percentages are as they go, maybe up or down. All right. Let's see. And Denisha's in the chat too. There you go. All right, Denisha. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you too. All right. Eric, what's up? I'm on break. Got to go back to work in a bit. Hope you're doing well this morning. Had a blast on Tuesday night. Yeah, man, it was really, really cool. For you guys that might have seen it live, or maybe, well, hopefully check the replay. We did our favorite 80s rock songs, and man, it was good. It was good. I was really interested to see how something like that would go for our audience, and it went really well. Everyone seemed to have a blast in the audience, and we definitely had a blast talking about our favorite rock songs. So hopefully, if you guys haven't seen that, please check out the replay. It was a lot of fun, and definitely something that was brand new to do on the channel, which is something I've wanted to do since starting the channel. But different choices that you make. But we plan to do more of that. So keep an eye out. Let's see. There's Val. Patrick's in the chat. Carrie's in the chat. What's going on, Carrie? Nanette's Necessities. What's going on? Saying hello. I'm here for the first time on your live. Oh, that's great. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you're doing well and hope that you enjoy the show. And obviously, this community is awesome. You'll see that as you hang out more and more. These guys are so cool. So welcome, welcome. Sean's in the chat too, saying morning, working on set today, but have a quiet moment and Wi-Fi. That's the thing you got to make sure you do have is Wi-Fi. So thanks for hanging out, though. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. And everyone is saying welcome to the net. Very cool. Very cool. Mega Giants in the chat. Good morning, everyone. What's up? What's up? Carrie saying, Night, your different streams have been amazing. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And I appreciate that. Ultimately, I have to make the decision whether to do it or not. And don't get me wrong, we're going to talk about obviously some movie news, obviously the biggest news being about Scream. And that's great. You guys know I love, especially, the big franchises and so forth. But I don't want to talk about that all the time, guys. You can't. I mean, sometimes it's a question of, you need to cover certain things if you're a channel that's trying to, inform your viewers and so forth. So that's one thing. But, I want to do other stuff too and be able to do that and have folks being used to it. So thank you so much, Carrie. I appreciate that. And for all you guys supporting our different streams, that's really, really cool. It really is. Ms. Carter saying, you usually make a mess of my typos. Night in the morning. I like that. I like that. I like that. Alex, what's going on? What's going on, Alex? Hope you're doing well. Val, the 80s cartoons and 80s rock streams were amazing. Two thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. We we really appreciate that. And we got more planned. I try not to always tell everyone everything, although for you guys that are channel members and for you guys that are patrons, I usually do give information about upcoming things first because obviously that's one of the cool perks to being so supportive, and we appreciate that. But we got more stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Val, you're a channel member, so you'll hear about those things, I'm sure. Jen's in the chat. Good morning, everyone. Night in the morning. Odd. It is, isn't it? Just saying it is kind of like, what? It doesn't sound right. But it is so right, right? Jen saying 12 votes, 92% at yes. Okay. All right. Jason, what's up, Jason? How you doing, man? The 80s rock stream was awesome. Thanks so much. And man, seriously, I appreciate all the encouragement and just the conversations that we've had in the live chat and also on our Patreon page and so forth. So thank you so much. Those I'm just gonna let you guys know, and for you guys, some of you I speak to either on social media or through the channel members or through Patreon. Just to let you know, you guys, you really do mean a lot to what we do on the channel, to the decisions that I make and so forth. And it's not taken lightly. It really isn't. It helps a lot more than you guys would know. And I really appreciate it. Horby, what's up? So excited to hear about Kirby. There's so many possibilities for her character. Cannot wait to find out if she survives six. I think she would make an awesome chase scene. That is true. I would, yeah, I would love to see a chase scene with her. But and I don't want to, I don't want to tease too much, but I do have hopefully a video or two that'll be coming out soon because I've got some interesting thoughts on that too. It's kind of, I mean, I'm overall happy because I loved her as a character so much in Scream 4, and Hayden I think is really amazing. But I'm really curious about where they're going to go with this. So, but exciting news nevertheless, and it's great for Scream fans and horror fans in general. Nanette saying, I enjoyed you being on Horror Gang, and that's why I'm here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Horror Gang is awesome. When we all got together for our big, huge live stream, that was so much fun. It really, really was. So thank you so much for coming over here and checking us out. Let's see. Jason taking care of some housekeeping. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Night Watch Zone and click the bell icon to get new video updates. You will not regret it. Like I said, Jason, you're doing a better job than me because I don't even remind people to click the bell icon, but it's true. And as most of you guys know, we, usually live stream 2, maybe 3, sometimes 4 times a week. 4 times a week right now. And I also have videos that I try to upload regularly, at least weekly. So a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff. Skull Crusher, what's up? What's up? Your thoughts on Jeepers Creepers 4? I'm, hopefully everything will pan out for Jeepers Creepers 4. I want to see it. I'm interested in it. I think and I was a big fan of the first movie, especially, and 2 was actually pretty good too. Um, and I always thought to myself that the Creeper could become, that next kind of iconic horror villain. I mean, to some he already is, and I think he's definitely got a following. But I definitely want to see Jeepers Creepers 4. I do. So hopefully we'll get the chance. All the legal stuff that they were going through is like, wow, it's a shame because we've seen the same thing go on with Jason for the Friday the 13th. Same thing, went on for a little while. It might still be going on with Freddy. So it's just too bad when you have horror icons and franchises that are stuck in legal issues or controversy that won't allow their properties to be released to their fans. So Jen saying, I like Kirby. I just don't want to see her overshadow Mindy. Mindy is my girl. I love Mindy too. I really do. And I think that that's a valid point. It's going to be interesting to see those two in the movie because they're kind of similar characters, So, but again, I have some thoughts. Dan, still homesick. What's up, everyone? Dan, I hope you feel better soon, man. I hope you feel better soon. Mega Giants Knight, what are your thoughts on Nirvana? Well, that's an interesting question, and I'm not copping out because, of course, I always say this is ask me anything, and I'm going to try to answer everyone's questions or as many as I can get to. All I can say is this, and if you know what's going on the channel, you probably get what I'm going with. I'll answer that on Tuesday night. That's all I'm going to say, Mega Giants. That's my ultimate tease. I will answer your question on Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I'm going to say. Jennifer saying you can't beat 80s rock. Uh, I love 80s rock. I really do. That stream was amazing. It was just so much fun. Jennifer saying night UTs. Well, that's the thing when you when you're a content creator, you can't throw everything out at once because you do want people to be able to take in everything, because we do a lot of shows and I also upload a lot. So I know everyone can't watch everything all the time. So I try to give people a little bit of time to catch up because I hear that all the time in the comments too. People work, people got other things to do, they have other commitments. And so sometimes people don't get a chance to watch a video for days. So um, but it's also fun to kind of tease a little bit too. What's up, Amber? Morning. Morning, morning, morning. Ben Grimm, what's your favorite music moment in horror? Wow, that's a good question, man. Music moment. Wow. I'll have to think about that, Ben. Um, that's really tough. Right off the top of my head, so this isn't like the ultimate answer, but I think of Friday 4 with Crispin Glover. I think of Return of the Living Dead. There's tons more, but the favorite that might have to be an episode we do. What's yours, Ben? Let me know what yours is. But that's a great question because there's so many. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many moments. Miss Carter saying, in the words of the late great Whitney Houston, it's not right, but it's okay. Night in the morning, I'm feeling it. That's good. That's good. Oh man, you got me with that. You got me laughing. That was good. Thanks, Miss C. Angela saying a lot of streaming. You mean for me? Um, I suppose so. Although, man, and and some other folks have been doing a lot of streaming lately too. And I don't know, man, compared to some other folks, I think I'm actually pretty tame. But I keep a schedule, so I think maybe that might be what you mean because I've kept this schedule, um, y- you know, pretty much for a year and a half, streaming at least 3 times a week, every week. So in that sense, yes, it's a lot of streaming, but I do that because I think that number one, it's easy to do it when you have a schedule, but also hopefully your viewers will get used to a certain routine. So that was always my thought process on the schedule. Jason saying, "What's your favorite horror that you wish had or deserved a sequel?" Mine is Nightbreed. That's a great question, and that's a great answer. Nightbreed definitely deserved a sequel. Um, wow, I'd have to think about that. Hmm. Not that it's strictly horror, but it's more like sci-fi horror. But I thought Underwater was awesome. I would have loved to have been back in that world again. But again, that's more sci-fi horror. That's one of the first things that comes to my mind. I'm sure there's some others. I'd have to think about that, Jason. But that's a good question. Um, yeah, that is a very good question. The Witch was great. I'd love to get back into that world. Hereditary. Although those stories were kind of sewn up in the end without giving away any spoilers in case some folks haven't seen them, which, by the way, they're great movies. Um, but yeah, that's a great question. I like that one. I love that one. Keith's in the chat. What's up, Keith? Saying sup night. Love the music stream. Checked it out this morning. All right. Very cool. I I'm very happy you checked that out, man, because I know again, this channel we talk movies, and we really angle it mostly to horror. Although from the beginning of the channel, I've done other things like sci-fi and action. Of course, I'm a martial artist of martial arts. We've even done some comedy, but we have never done music, which I always wanted to do some stuff in music because I love music. Music is as big a part of my life as movies is. So I'm glad that viewers took the time to watch it, and a lot of everyone's saying they enjoyed it. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Um, Nanette saying, I've been watching your videos on your channel and I like your videos so far, and you get me inspired to do some videos on movie series. That is great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And again, welcome to the channel and the community. And I always tell people, and it's great to also hear, if I can help inspire folks or us as a channel. I always tell people if they're interested in doing it, you should just do it because I never thought that I would do it. If someone had told me 2 years ago I'd be doing this right now and doing it to some level of success, I would have said, yeah, right. I don't see that. As a matter of fact, and I've told this story before, but long story short, when me and my brother, we had contemplated doing YouTube years ago, maybe about 5 years ago or so, and we talked about it because we love movies, we love talking about movies, and we thought we had some interesting things to discuss about them. And I said, well, I don't know, I just didn't think that we could do it. And it was more so the thought of the obstacles or the thought of the technology. Can I master any of that? And do I have the equipment? All I can say is this: when I started the channel, it was so bare bones, but that's okay. You have to start somewhere. So I would definitely say, do it, do it, do it, do it. And if you need any guidance or any tips, feel free to ask because I've got so many that I've learned that I wish I knew then, but it's all cool because if you love movies, if you have a passion about it, that's ultimately that's what counts. So that is what counts. All right, let's see. Dan saying, "I know you were a fan of Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider and the Vision Quest." Yes, Dan, you know me so well. You all right? You all right, Dan? Thanks so much, man. I'm so glad you're here. I'm sorry you're not feeling good, but it's cool to even think that when people aren't feeling well or if they need to pick me up, they'll jump into a stream or watch a video. That's such a cool thing, Dan. We appreciate that. You are all right. And I will hopefully be seeing you in August, right, Dan? Hopefully I'll be seeing you in August. You got to get better because we're going to Monster Mania and it's going to be cool. The Scream cast is going to be there. The cast from Halloween 2 from 81. The Alien cast. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Alien. I'm going to be geeking out like crazy. Miss Carter saying, "Baby, can you dig your man?" The handsome night watch song. Thanks, Miss Carter. I appreciate that. And in honor of that, we'll do this. We'll do "Baby, Can You Dig Your Man" because we haven't done that in a while. So you guys know how it goes. "Baby, Can You Dig Your Man?" He's a righteous man. All that good stuff.
Baby, can you dig your man? He's a righteous man. Don't let go.
It doesn't get old, at least not for me. Keith saying the big twist rumor following ends. I'm hearing the last few days. Nick Castle and James Jude. Which one is the shape? Which one is Michael? I've heard some of those rumors too. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think as far as that's concerned. Some rumors. And by the way, well, it's weird because on this platform, you talk about your hopes or your theories, which obviously I've talked a lot about. And it's fun. You discuss with people what they think is going to happen. And then, of course, there's the rumor mill. And sometimes those things are true, sometimes they're not, sometimes they're in between. So I try to stay away from too many rumors because at the end of the day, I still want to know or I still want to enjoy the movie. Um, so I don't know, man. I don't know. The net saying, so what are your favorite top 10 horror movies series? Franchises, you mean, I think. And if that's the case, that number one, that's a tough question. to answer right here, right now. Um, but I can, obviously, in if you've probably only seen a few of our videos on the channel, but I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan, and I'm obviously a huge Halloween fan. But I'm also a huge fan of things that don't get a lot of love, like Phantasm. We did episodes on Phantasm, and like nobody watched it. Well, the original, because the original is a classic, but all five movies had some interesting things in them. So I'm a huge fan of the Phantasm franchise. I'm a huge fan of the Psycho franchise. I love Anthony Perkins' portrayal of Norman Bates. I'm a fan of the Conjuring movies. The first one being easily the best, but still, I appreciate James Wan. Kind of he kind of reinvigorated horror in a way where you didn't have to have someone being killed every 2 minutes with buckets of blood splashing everywhere. So I really appreciate that about those movies, and I think James Wan is a very talented director. I'm a fan of the Final Destination movies. I'm a fan of so many, more than I could even think of right now. So, anyways, but that's a good question, and at some point, and that's actually something we haven't done. Um, but Nanette, leave me that as a question or a comment in the comment section of this video as a reminder for me, because that is something we've talked about doing for a show, and yeah, maybe we'll do that as a show, a live stream show talking about our top 10 horror movies franchises. So, thank you so much. That was a great question. Dolo in the chat. How do you feel about the possibility of multiple final girls for Scream 6? Tara, Kirby, Sam, Mindy. We also don't know what new characters are to come, so there could be many. The possibility is great. I don't think it's going to be all four, though. And not to get too deep into it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't see all of them surviving to the end. It's possible. Anything's possible. I think with Scream 6, and I've talked about this in a couple videos. I've also talked about it on streams with the Lethal Collective. Um, this is a movie that could really define the Scream franchise for the whole, for the future. In other words, if they go into a road where they're doing new things and bringing new ideas and to freshen up the franchise, it could really bode well for Scream. If they kind of go down the road of staying in that specific Scream formula, which I do love, but let's be honest, all five movies were very much in that same formula. But if they stay in that formula, then I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'll be a little disappointed with Scream 6 if it's kind of just a carbon copy of Scream 2. But we'll see. But I'll tell you one thing, and I'll say this right now because I did want to talk a little bit about Kirby. I do not want her to be the opening kill. That would piss me off. So I just want to I just want to throw that out there. There's no reason to bring Hayden back just to kill her off in the opening. So hopefully that does not happen. It could though. It really could. And don't get me wrong, she's a great actress and the character is great, so it would have weight, and I'm sure it could be a great opening scene. But now if it's an opening attack like with Tara and 5, okay, if that's the way they kind of bring her back in, I could deal with that. Although, again, I'm talking about it right now, so that's pretty, it's so obvious. I don't want them to do obvious things, but we'll see. We'll see. Am still, what's up? Never let go. Steven, they're loving night. The net saying mine is Don't Fear the Reaper. Great song. Great song. Jen saying mine is The Lost Boys at any time in the movie. That's a great soundtrack. It is. It really is. And Jen, I don't know if you were around on the old channel. We did an episode on the Lost Boys. We've got to redo that. But yeah, we talked so much about the soundtrack because it was fantastic. Really was. Dan knows what's up. Yes. Carrie saying, can I say one I wish did not get sequels? Deep Blue Sea. That's that's a great answer. What about Sharknado? Yes, yes, yes. Nanette saying, "I love the soundtrack to the Lost Boys." Yes. Maverick, what's up? Saying night. What's up, my man? Not much, man. I'm just got my coffee. I got a couple of little donuts. Gonna be eating them soon and just chilling out. Chilling out. Joel's in the chat. What's up? The zombies coming up from the grave and Return of the Living Dead is my favorite music moment in horror. It's party time. Yeah, that was a great scene. That's one that I was talking about too. Miss Carter saying, "Now, Night, I know you probably got something special planned for Friday the 13th tomorrow. Question is, are we going to get some details on what you're planning?" Well, um, well, I don't know if you're going to like this answer. I do have something special planned. It is up on the channel. So we will have a special episode tomorrow. But I do have something else that I'm working on that hopefully will come together. I'm hoping that it'll come together. So we'll see. Either way, it's going to be a really fun stream tomorrow and also a fun weekend. So I will say that. I will say that. But yeah, yeah, I got to do something for Friday the 13th. Got to. Horror saying I was watching that new Sandra Bullock Channing Tatum movie last night, and Red Right Hand was in it. Really? All right. All right. Jason saying bad martial art movies are like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's so good. It's true. It's true. It's true. Nanette saying I've done 5 videos so far, and I'm doing another today. Oh, cool. I'll check that out. Let me in the comments on this stream. Um, I'll check that out. I'll check that out. That is very cool. Have you had fun doing it? That's a good question too. If you've had fun doing it, that's great. That is great. Let's see. Angela saying you can join and donate to help make that happen. Are you talking about Monster Mania? Yes, I mean obviously, and I talked about this last week. We're going to be traveling to Jersey. The Night Watch Zone is going to be at Monster Mania, and we will have a live stream. We're hoping to do some couple of special things. We'll see. You never know, because it's going to be a trip. But there's going to be one way or the other. There's going to be some really cool things that we've got planned, and we're going to hopefully meet some friends and friends of the channels, and also other YouTubers. Dan obviously included. Eric from the Bearded Entertainment is supposed to be down there. I think Bobby's going to be down there. So it should be a fun time. It really should be fun. All right. And that's saying, but I've only done one on videos. Oh, okay. All right. Very cool. I'll definitely have to check those out. Dan saying, I'm definitely seeing you guys in August. We'll have fun for sure. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's going to be fun. Look, if you guys have watched enough episodes, you guys know, um, you know, as far as horror, and obviously with music too, but I'm talking specifically about horror, I can get really geeky about it. And it's a joy. So being down there in that atmosphere with some of my favorite, horror actors, well, actors in general, but it's going to be fun. And to have a chance to share that with friends like you, Dan, it's going to be fun. So it'll be a lot of smiles, and that's always a good thing. Movies and Beyond in the chat. What's going on? Movies and Beyond, one of our newest patrons. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it so much. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Jen saying Night and Dan together, scary but exciting. Why is it scary? Come on. No, I know you're just joshing with us. It's all good, Jen. We'll have some fun though. We are gonna have some fun. It'll be a lot of posting on social media. That's the game plan. Which I don't do enough of because I just do so much on the channel. But that's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a fun time, a nice vacation. Carrie, I never get tired of Ed Harris. Me neither. Me neither. Dan live stream from my backyard. You never know, man. And we'll have, I've been meaning to talk to you more about it anyways, because I've been trying to game plan some stuff. You never know, man. You never know. It's possible. Very possible. Amstel saying we need a They Live prequel showing the beginning of the alien invasion. That would be awesome, and I'd be down for that. I really would. I really, really would, because I love They Live. One of my favorites of all time. Angela saying, I finally watched Phantasm and I loved it. I need to marathon that one for sure. That is great. That is great, Angela. Phantasm, first of all, is an iconic movie. If you've not seen it, you guys need to watch it. Angus Scrim as the tall man. Of course, Angus, rest in peace. He's a really great horror villain that doesn't get the love he deserves, you know. But the franchise, it's a really cool franchise. And like I said, we went through the whole franchise movie by movie, as we always do for our franchise reviews. And it was just fun, man. If you guys watch the videos, you know, we just have smiles on our faces, and it was fun. It was fun. He's a righteous man. That's right. Jen, thank you so much. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Yes. Please, 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 please. Dan, the second one has great effects, Angela. Yeah, the second one, like they just ramped it up, and I think they went in great directions. You know, some folks, you know, they might have different opinions, but one thing you got to admit is they had some great practical effects, and we talked about that too. It was really, really good. Miss Carter saying, I get annoyed when people bring up Michael's age. I see it as irrelevant because I don't see him as human. I see him as an evil entity taking on human form. Interesting. Interesting. Sometimes I look at him that way too. You know, as far as, you know, an entity in human form. Um, I think when people bring up the age, I think and I've talked about it too in videos, not saying that it's a hindrance, but I think that people for a franchise like Halloween that's been around for so long, and even though it has multiple timelines, I think people, when they reference it, or at least some people, I think they maybe reference it as far as how long is it going to go, or is it going to continue, you know? And of course, the answer to that, there's a couple of different answers, but one answer is it just starts a new timeline and it reboots it, you know? So Carrie saying 81% yes, 19% no for Kirby. All right. Already liked and shared. Thanks, Jen. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Q, what's up, Quentin? Quentin's in the chat. Morning all. What's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Maverick saying, can everyone in the chat hit the thumbs up button on this video? That would be great. I like the way you worded that, man. It was almost like a security guard. That's great. Thanks, man. Radio Silence did not want to shoehorn her into 5, so I do not see them killing her off in the beginning of 6. Yeah, but you know, the thing of it is, and let's just talk about the great Kirby for a second here. You know, I think a lot of people, there's been, you know, speculation about are they going to kill her off in the beginning, and you know that was speculation even in 5 when we found out the cast for 5 and it didn't include Hayden. So you know, again, you know how this goes, Jen. There's a lot of theories out there, so people are wondering, is that what they're doing, bringing her in to be the opening kill, because you have the 4 returning, and obviously they can, along with Gail, they can carry the movie. So anyways, I just hope she comes into the movie, and I hope that she has a good part, a good role in the story, and that's all there is, you know. That's all that there is. I don't want her to be killed right off. To me, that would suck. So anyways, yes, 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 I am very happy to see that she is back. I really am. Jen saying no pissing night off, that should be a rule. Well, I guess you could look at it that way. I don't even know what to say to that, Jen. That was great. You got me laughing. Coop, what's up, Coop? What is up? Am still saying I watched your Phantasm video. Well, I know a lot of you guys did, but I mean, in general, you know, it's funny though, and I, you know, on these morning streams, you know, I try to give a little bit of a behind the curtain viewpoint, you know, just as a channel with you guys. But it's funny because we had, I believe we had just finished. I can't remember which franchise we had finished before Phantasm, but it did really well. We were happy about it. And there's a lot of time that we put into doing those shows. Again, we usually stream anywhere from 45 minutes to, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and it's all live, and we're reviewing and discussing and deep diving a movie, and it's unscripted. There's no notes. We watch the movie before we talk about it. And so you have to know your shit. So it's a lot of time that we put into it. But we had finished our last franchise, and I was like, well, let's get into Phantasm. Killian had not gotten into the franchise, so it was going to be, very fresh and new for him. So I was excited about that. And, it just didn't have that same effect on viewers, which, Phantasm itself isn't as much of a well-known franchise anyways, but that's exactly why I wanted to do it, is to hopefully introduce it to folks. So it is what it is, but it is a great franchise nevertheless. So but but thank you, Amstel. I'm glad that you watched it and enjoyed it. Coop saying another morning, another day. Ain't that right? So right. M85 is being tired of Scream's shtick a thing. um it is a thing for some folks, meaning that there are people that are tired of it. There are some people that talk about it. Um, they're still great movies, though. I think all five Scream movies are still great movies, and obviously the first being a masterpiece, basically. So, but I just hope that with the sixth movie, I just hope they do some new things. And I've talked about what some of those things are in videos and live streams. So we'll see. We'll see. Angela, Sharknado sucks. I love bad movies, but those get so painful after the first. Yes. What's up, Carl? Carl's in the chat. Do you think Kirby will be taking the role written for Sydney if Nev rejected the movie or is unavailable? That is possible. Um, I don't know. I mean, we're still unsure about Nev. Um, it is possible, and I suppose would make sense. But I hope that's not the case. I mean, sometimes you can just hope against hope. I hope that the game plan is for Kirby to do her own thing and not really just take over a role that was maybe written or thought about for Sydney, especially if Nev rejected it or if she wasn't able to do the movie for whatever reason. But we'll see. I mean, it's possible. It probably, Kirby is maybe the best situation for that as far as taking the role. If this is true, we don't know, but we'll have to see. We're gonna have to get some more information. But is a lot of talk about that. So I think you're on a possibly the right track. Possibly. Mega Giant saying, Knight, what are your thoughts on Jennifer Tilly? I love Jennifer Tilly. Especially when you talk about things like Child's Play. She's an icon. She's an icon. If I ever got the chance to meet her at a convention, that'd be amazing. It really would. Coop saying, "Oh wait, tomorrow is Friday the 13th." Yeah. What? What? Yes, it is. It is. Yeah. This is how I felt when I read that comment, man. Yes, it is Friday the 13th. I'm gonna be honest too. There's been sometimes when it's come up and I'm like, oh shit, it is Friday the 13th. That's crazy. So, but yes, tomorrow is. I'm still saying, did you see A24's trailer for Men? Yes, I did. Oh man, I want to see that so bad. I really do. That's hopefully gonna be a movie that people don't sleep on. I definitely want to see that. Definitely. And if I do, and I eventually will, hopefully I'll see it in theaters, but I'll see it one way or the other, even when it gets out of theaters. I'll definitely do an episode on that. Stevenson, I've been listening to some movie scores and soundtracks lately. Miss 80s was a big help. She's great. Oh yeah, Beth. Yeah, Beth is amazing. I mean, if you guys are into music and just knowledge about music, Beth is amazing. She really is. Definitely check her out. She knows her stuff. And I actually, for our 80 stream, I actually got in touch with Beth and was kind of like, okay, I want to make sure that what I'm doing in this live stream is not gonna get us in trouble from YouTube. So absolutely, absolutely. Jason saying, has a horror movie ever made you emotional? The scene that always gets me is Reggie dies in Phantom 5. Yes. Um, that scene did get me. It did. And when we did Ravager, we talked about that because you're following these characters and spoilers, obviously. Hopefully Angela did not hear that too much. But anyways, um, yeah, there's moments like that in horror movies. Absolutely. That's a great example, though. That's one that comes to my mind first too. Blanca's in the chat. What's up? What's up? Miss Carter saying, I got to know. I need details about the what we're doing for Friday the 13th. Let me know if that's what you mean. But I still probably can't tell you. But Coop saying, hi, Jen and Carrie. Literally everyone else, like Jason, Night Watch himself, saying hi to everyone. I love that. That's great. Let's see. Nanette saying, I love doing my videos. Well, that's what counts. That's what counts. But I definitely will check it out. But that's good to hear. Because some folks, they, because it can be a stressful thing, it can. I've dealt with different things myself, ups and downs. So for some people, it's not a total love. They might be doing it for various reasons, but that's great. Very cool to hear. Let's see. Michael's in the chat. Sup, Knight? What's up? What's up? Nice to see you. Amsel saying, did you see Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange? Yes, I did. And we actually did a live right out of the theater reaction, which was non-spoiler. And by the way, I just want to mention this too. Everything in our live streams, please stay away from spoilers because I don't want to ruin movies for people that haven't seen them. Especially with new movies, I usually say, give folks at least 2 weeks to watch a movie. And then even then, try to stay away from big spoilers. And we know what big spoilers are in a movie. But I did see it. I had a good time with it. It definitely was a Sam Raimi movie. There's no doubt about that. It was definitely a Sam Raimi movie. And I thought that was pretty cool. Blucka saying, I would try to rally the horror convention to go to the Star Trek convention and Star Wars convention so we can put them to rest. You mean all of the conventions? Bluggers at Night, can you lead the horror nation against the space nerds? Now wait a second. So you're not a fan of Star Wars or Star Trek? Or sci-fi, I should say. Because it's funny because people do segment themselves. They might be sci-fi fans, but they're not Star Trek fans, or they're not Star Wars fans, or some are both, or this or that. So it is interesting. I just love movies. I think sometimes people, they close themselves off, sometimes, and they don't need to. I've had so many friends. That's what's been so fun about doing YouTube, because I can talk movies, especially when I talk about horror movies, and everyone gets it. They may not like the horror movie, but they're horror fans. And I'll talk to some friends who are like, oh, I don't like horror movies. I actually had this conversation with a family member, and she said, well, I don't like horror movies, but yet is a fan of Pet Sematary. I'm like, Pet Sematary is a horror movie. Well, it wasn't that bad of a horror movie. It's like, come on, let's be real. There's no lying here. So it's just interesting. I get a kick out of it, though. I get a kick out of it. Movies and Beyond saying, the conventions I will be going to and doing shows from are Horror Hound in Cincinnati and Scarefest in Lexington. Nice. That is very cool. I've heard good things about Horror Hound, so that should be a good show. When is that in Cincinnati? You gotta let me know. Movies and Beyond. Let's see. Dan saying, yes, we'll game plan. Yeah, we got to. You know me, man. I'm always... Game plans are how things work, at least in my world. So, yes. Blucka saying, Carrie wants more than a hello in the morning after I went ham on Fate's stream. You're trying to kill me here. What? All right. Nanette saying my friend comes on every Thursday and does makeup, and I told her I was doing a video today on horror movies, and we all started talking about our favorite movies, and we talked about them for 2 hours. All right. That shows a lot of love. 2 hours. Yes. All right. Blanca, please remember what? Swing your hips. Gosh. Craven just put a video saying Courtney Cox may not return for Scream 6. Well, I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the case. We got to have Courtney back in the Scream, you know. If she's not back in Scream, then they're definitely going in an interesting. I'm just going to check my phone. They're definitely going to be going in an interesting place if that's the case. But I hope she returns. I'm a big fan of Courtney. All right. All right, let me catch up to you guys. Coop saying, Jen, didn't Courtney already confirm she's coming back? She did. So hopefully, I don't know. Blucka saying, if I was Courtney Cox, I wouldn't return to Scream 6. It's pretty clear they plan to kill off legacy characters to build a story again. I don't know. Maybe. Listen, my mantra is anything's possible with so many of these horror movies and franchises, but I don't think that's their game plan. And if it is, then to me, just as a fan, I'm just speaking as a fan, guys. So it's not like it's gospel truth, but as a fan, to me, that would make what Radio Silence has always said about the legacy of Scream and Wes Craven. It would make what they said a little dishonest, because coming in to direct these movies and to just kill off a legacy character in each film, that just doesn't make sense. And it doesn't have to be that way. Everyone doesn't have to die, right? They got Dewey. Okay. We don't have to kill, the other two as well. Maybe one more. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? We don't have to do Star Wars. Okay. Have we learned from Star Wars? That's the question. Jason saying Ravager needs some love and respect. The movie was made for fans, and to say our goodbyes to the tall man, the great Angus Scrim. I'm glad to see all of them together for one last time. I agree. Absolutely. And it was good to see them. And that's the thing that was so great about the franchise. You got to see those guys through so many movies. You don't usually see that. Obviously, we're talking about Scream right now, but in the Phantasm franchise, you had the lead characters. Obviously, in part 2, we had a new Michael, but not only did you have the characters, but you had the same villain and the same actor playing the villain, and he was consistent. He played the character consistently throughout the films. Shots fired to Freddy. No, I'm just joking. Ben saying, what's your favorite Sam Raimi movie? Michael's going with Spider-Man. Blucka saying, does Time Cop count as a Sam Raimi movie? I'm gonna go. I don't know. Right off the bat, I'm such a huge fan of Evil Dead 2. I love that movie. Army of Darkness was great. I even loved Darkman. So it's hard to say because he's had so many, and I do love the Spider-Man movies. The first one I think was very good. The second one I think is one of the better superhero movies of all time. So it's hard to say, but I'll just say Evil Dead off the top of my head. Evil Dead 2. Let's see. Joel saying Courtney's Gale became boring after Scream 2. Really? Well, I don't know. No, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, the thing with Scream is that you always had the trio, the OG3, right? So the story always had to be balanced between the three of them. Now, I'll say this, out of the three, I think Gale had the biggest, range, as far as character arc. Although Dewey was great in 5, I really loved seeing David being able to portray Dewey like that in part 5. So, but I thought she was good in 3. I mean, the story was, there was so much going on in 3 and 4. They were trying to kind of get back to basics. So it's hard, but I'm still a fan of Gale. I'm still a fan of Gale. Nanette said my favorite Sam Raimi film is 30 Days of Night. That was a good one. Yeah. Ben says he would not count Time Cop as a Sam Raimi movie. All right. I can agree with that. Blanca saying Scream 6 is getting praised regardless of how bad it is. The modern audience is more into visuals than brain food. Most Marvel films are evidence of that. Well, Marvel films are also geared towards kids. So that's the other thing about that. So, I can definitely agree with some of that. But do you mean Scream 6 is getting a lot of positive hype? Or I should say people wanting it to be good and you're thinking that it may not be good? Or did you mean Scream 5? So just let me know. Jason saying Phantasm most underrated franchise in horror. I was blessed to meet Angus. He was an amazing person, was so kind with his time, a fan forever. Angus seemed like he was really cool. That's so cool that you met him. Just seeing him in interviews and stuff, you could just tell that he was just a really cool guy and so humble, and also appreciated the fans. That's one thing that I always, when you have an actor or any artist that appreciates their fans in that way, I'm always that's always a cool thing to me. It really, really is. Let's see. Wow, I'm catching up with you guys. Michael saying, I'm worried about the radio tower, what role it might have in Halloween Ends. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is concern, although I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. I've done obviously a lot of videos on Halloween and videos on Halloween Ends. There is concern, but I don't think it's going to be what a lot of us are afraid of. I think we'll see. We'll see. But my worry level has definitely gone down since we first heard that the radio tower is going to be a very important thing in the movie. So that's probably the best way for me to word it. And I'm still saying, you watching Better Call Saul's final season. I've got to get back into Better Call Saul. And I love the character, and I love that universe, the Breaking Bad universe. But I've got to get back into it. But don't spoil anything. But yes, I think it is a great show, and I'm hoping to get back into it. Let's see. Nanette saying, I'm going to be watching them movies tomorrow. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Friday the 13th movies is what I'm talking about. I like that. I like the way you worded that. Yes, yes, yes. You got to watch some Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th, or at least, some old school horror. Old school horror. Angela saying it's an older movie, so spoilers are fair game. All right, just throw it out of your mind, though. I want you to be surprised. No, I'm just joking. Let's see. Dan saying when Ruby sacrifices herself in the Hills Have Eyes remake, that is very emotional. That's a good one, Dan. Dan always coming up with some good stuff. I agree with you. Oh, and we have a super chat, $5 super chat from Jason. With it being Friday the 13th tomorrow, will you be doing an Aliens tribute? Laugh out loud. Love waking up to the night. This channel rocks. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. You had me for a second there. I was like, aliens? What? I should do an aliens tribute just to mess up everybody. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. And here we go.
Live like this. Swing your hips. Fire! Swing your hips.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that. Seriously. Am still saying the faculty or disturbing behavior. Ooh, that's a good one. Wow. Man. I guess I'll go with the faculty. I think I'll go with the faculty on that. Both were good, though. I got to catch back up with those. I haven't seen them in a while. What are you going with, Amstel? I enjoy both Star Wars and Star Trek for what they are, but I was making a reference to the movie Fanboys. Okay. All right. You had me with that. I was like, what are we talking about? Nanette saying, that's hard for me. I love both, and they both were shocking when I seen the ending of them. All right, all right. We should all take the day off tomorrow and watch Friday the 13th, part 1 through 7, right? Seriously. Seriously. I will be watching. I'll be watching something with Friday the 13th. Maybe I'll be watching with you guys. You never know. Like I saying, if you enjoy Friday the 13th, you should also slap on Hatchet to your watch list. Yeah, Hatchet is good. I'm a fan. At some point, hopefully, we'll be doing some stuff on Hatchet. Nanette saying, I didn't work, so I can watch all the Friday the 13th movies. All right. That's always a good thing. Having time to do it and enjoy your time doing it. Miss Carter saying, I remember one Friday the 13th was really a rough one for a young Miss C. Then later that same year, I discovered Friday the 13th movies. I'm sure it's a sign I'm supposed to be a Jason fangirl. It could be a sign. Could be a sign. Very cool. Very cool. And yes, I got to know more details on Friday the 13th show. I can't tell you though. I mean, look, if you look on my channel, you'll see one of the answers for tomorrow. But beyond that, it's something I'm working on. So I don't want to say it and then we can't do it. But I'm hoping to do it, and one way or the other, something will happen. I'll put it that way. That probably was not what you wanted to hear either, but what can I what can I say? Michael saying I want Gail to die in Scream 6. No, 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 no. If the story was done in a really good way, maybe I could go on board with that. But this is what I don't want, and this is why I'm saying this. I didn't want to see a legacy character killed off in each movie. Number one, it's it's not original to me, and I think it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of sucks. But execution is everything, you know. If she dies in 6, and if Nev, we don't know if Nev's going to be in 6 or if she'll return in 7, but assuming that she would at least return in 7, well, then everyone's going to think, well, Nev's going to die in 7, you know. And if she doesn't, then I don't know. You get into a deep rabbit hole to me. But I hope she does not die in 6. I would rather her have a very small role and just kind of go off and live her life, especially now that Dewey is gone. She doesn't, granted, she's close to Sydney, and obviously in her job, she's covering the news and so forth. So there's always ways to bring her back into the fold. But at that point, it's almost like, okay, well, let's just move on, from her as a character. And again, everybody doesn't have to die. That happens in so many horror franchises, in movies, with returning characters. And it's kind of like, well, do we have to do that? I mean, I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see. Let's see. Blucka saying they have Kirby, Gale, Martha, and possibly Joel and Sydney and Mark. The odds of legacy characters getting killed is so much higher than not. It's true. It is true. It is true. Let's see. Blucka saying, what I mean is Scream 6 will more than likely do everything most people feared and will still get overhyped praised as a great film. Scream 5 didn't do anything out of the norm and gets liked. But, neither did Scream 2, 3, or 4. So, I mean, here's the thing to me, and you guys, obviously, if you've seen the reviews or my episodes, then you kind of know where I stand on it. And again, it's just an opinion. But we got to remember, with horror movies, especially with franchises, you usually have just a certain lane that you're going to be driving in. When you talk about Halloween, or you talk about Friday the 13th, or you talk about Final Destination, or you talk about Saw, or you talk about any of these franchises that have multiple movies, especially if you have more than a trilogy. So you just got to kind of accept that. The question is, how do they execute the movie? Do they bring anything new to the movie? Like if you look at Nightmare on Elm Street 3, many people absolutely love that movie. Some people love it more than the original. I personally love it a lot. But it still had to work within a certain lane. But in some people, that can be a disadvantage. But to me, that's fine, because it's a universe that you're in and it has certain rules and so forth, the way it operates. So, but if 6 does the same thing as 5, in other words, if it doesn't change the formula a little bit, they can't change it a lot because then everyone's going to say, well, this isn't a Scream movie. They can't do a movie where all of a sudden the 4 survivors are like in the woods, at a cabin in the woods. They're not going to do that. But if they can change it enough so it has some freshness to it, if they change up the way Ghostface is portrayed, the way he attacks, the way he does things, if there's multiple Ghostface killers, maybe in the same scenes, if there's a lot of different ways they can change the formula up enough so that it's different but still a Scream movie. Now, if they do the same thing, personally speaking, I'm not gonna overhype it. They'd have to do a hell of a job of executing it for me to be on board with it, though, if it's the same formula. So we'll see. I hope they don't do the same thing, man. I really do. But anything's possible. Anything. Angela's saying, am I the only one who never got into Breaking Bad? Yes, you are. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking, Angela. No, there's a lot of people. My brother Killian, he never really got into it either. And I keep telling him, man, you got to watch this show. But, that's just like with movies. Some movies hit hard for some folks, for others, it doesn't. But it is great acting. I will say that. I think universally, most people that don't even get into the show much, they will say that the acting was good. So let's see. Coop saying thoughts on the upcoming is it Five Nights at Freddy's film? I want to see it. What do you think? I'm definitely interested in it. Denisha saying, hey, Night Watch Zone, amazing. Enjoyed the 80s stream the other day. Yes, it was fun. It was. Maverick, swing your heaps. That's right. Ben saying, my favorite emotional scene in horror is when the mom's final scene in Final Girls. It's a good one, too. You guys are coming up with some good ones. We might have to do a live stream just on that on its own. Maverick saying The Faculty. All right. Denisha asking if we're doing something for members only soon. There is a chance. There's a chance. Keep an eye out. Because I try to make sure I do post for you guys too. So hopefully we will be doing something soon. It was fun when we did When a Stranger Calls. That was funny. But yeah, hopefully. And with Friday 13th coming up, I'm just going to tease that out to you. I'm still saying The Faculty, but both are great. Yeah, both are good. Or great. I should say great. 85% yes, 15 for no on Kirby. All right. Thanks for keeping me updated on that, Carrie. You rock. Ben saying, if you could only watch one Friday the 13th tomorrow, what would it be? I'm not going to answer that, Ben, because all I'm saying is this, guys. If you look on, what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So I'm not going to answer that, but do know that I'm a fan of the franchise, and every movie I've enjoyed. We just finished the reboot this past Sunday, which was a fun episode. And so we've gone through every single Friday the 13th movie, doing a review live, deep dive discussion. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed those. If you haven't checked them out, please do. There's a lot of time and effort put into those episodes. They've been well received, so I'm happy about that. So after going through all the movies, there's other things that we can do. So I'm teasing a lot here. Miss Carter saying, if I could swing my hips like that, I wouldn't be single and sitting at home. Oh, stop. Michael's saying, I have a theory that Michael's parents could be alive. I've heard that theory. Wow. I mean, I've talked a lot about Halloween Ends, so that would be interesting. Interesting. I feel like my problem is more so with the writing and directing team of Scream. There was nothing to suggest we would get something better than what we saw. Everything suggested the opposite. I hear you. I hear you. Although there have been times um, that I've been shocked at how well a movie comes off. Like, and you guys were talking about Star Wars earlier. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but Rogue One, I did not expect to like that movie. Well, I don't want to say I didn't expect to not like it, but I was very worried because they had so much trouble on set, different directors, they rewrote stuff. And I seriously, of the new movies, that's one of my favorite. I really enjoyed it. And of course, being a movie that is a prequel story, sometimes you can really run into a lot of issues with that because you know where it's going to go. But I was very impressed with it. So again, it's true. Sometimes you can look at what's coming. You can read things and you see the possibilities, and it may not look good. But sometimes you can be, you can be surprised. Night breaking news: Gail may not returning for Scream 6. If that is true, I'm surprised too. I don't know if it's true. But if it is, yeah, yeah, I'm very surprised if that's true. Coop saying a final Scream film could possibly be titled One Last Scream. And that'd be funny. You're such a tease, Night. And well, I have my moments. They brought and connected everything to the past to bait the fans in. They killed off Dewey and Judy to have stakes in their film. You don't know who anyone was by the end of the film. That's true. It's true. I agree. I was upset about that. I think they could have gone in a different direction. Of course, unless the story, what we're going to see in 6, is going to go in a certain. I don't want to say it, but if it goes in a certain direction, then maybe the choices that they made in 5 will, at least for me as a fan, I'll be more at peace with them because I didn't want Dewey to die. I had said from the beginning I thought that Gail should have been the one, and I thought that Gail was going to be the one, but it is what it is. Jamie's in the chat saying good morning. What's up, Jamie? How you doing? Very cool to see you. Video Tasties, what's up, man? Tea or coffee? I've got coffee. Tea is fine too, though. But I'm rocking with some coffee. Am still speaking the truth. Bryan Cranston's performance is legendary. It is. Walter White, man. Really cool stuff. Amazing performances all throughout the show. And they stuck the landing, too. That's the thing about Breaking Bad. Nanette saying, do you mean like they had all them people dressed up like that did in Halloween 4? I don't know what you mean. Ask that again. I don't know if I misread it or maybe you mistyped it. But yeah, ask me that again, Nanette. Michael saying, Knight, who do you think should play Freddy Krueger? There's been some talk about it. I actually do have a video that I am working on that we'll talk about that a little bit. But I've even heard people talking about Kevin Bacon. I think Robert Englund himself was really kind of trying to push for that and so forth, which isn't a bad idea in theory. If you were talking about one movie, or maybe 2, but I mean, Kevin Bacon isn't, he's not a spring chicken anymore either, because that's what Robert is saying, is that he's just too old to play the role now. 6-8 hours, whatever it is, to do the makeup and so forth. It's just crazy shit. But an actor like a Kevin Bacon, if not Kevin Bacon, would be a good way to go. Someone who has, just like Robert Englund, you got to have someone that has that charisma, that has that special something. That's the only way you could do it. To me, that's just to me, because even for Nightmare 2, they weren't going to have Robert play Freddy. They actually had someone else in the makeup. That scene in the shower when Jesse's in the shower with the gym teacher, and you see Freddy coming from the mist. That's not Robert Englund. And they realized right off the bat, we can't just have someone in the makeup. This doesn't work. We need Robert, because at the time, his agent, they were jockeying for more money and all that type of stuff. So, anyways, you have to have someone of that ilk. So, hopefully that answered your question. Jamie saying, as a Twin Peaks fan, I should say coffee, but I prefer tea. Yes. I love that. That's great. All right, let me catch up for you guys. Nanette saying, sorry for not talking for a while. My internet connection got turned off on my phone. I hate it when that happens. But no worries at all. That happens to me sometimes on my phone. I'm still saying, if I could only watch one Friday, I'd flip a coin between the final chapter and Jason Lives. Yeah, that's obviously probably the most popular. Well, I don't want to say the most popular, but I hear that from so many folks that, they're two of their favorites is 4 and 6. And I love both of them too. And it is a tough call. It really is. Dan saying Patrick's interviewing Waffles tonight. That is cool. Very cool. Angela saying Rogue One was so good. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was damn fine coffee. It is. It is, and it's helping me get through the morning. Ben saying, in some franchises, the best movie and most rewatchable could be two different things. Like in TCM, the OG is the best, but the one I watched the most is Texas Chainsaw 3D. It is tough because, best and rewatchable, it can be a big gap. I agree with that. Bluck is saying, I could watch most Star Wars movies, but I needed more scenes like the Vader scene in Rogue One across all movies. Yeah, I mean, but obviously, what they did in Rogue One, they could do that now, versus what they were able to do with the original trilogy. But I agree that scene was amazing, and I loved it so much. When I saw it in the theater, as soon as the hallway went dark, and the first thing you could hear was just the breathing, it wasn't even like the first second of it, and people started to lose their shit, myself included. And you saw the saber light up in red. It was such a great scene. It was well shot. The choreography of the fight was great, and man, people were losing their shit, man. They were. I loved it. Yeah, Rogue One is great. Jamie saying, I heard that Courtney Cox isn't on the cast list, so it's possible that it's true. All right. I hope it's not true, but we'll see. I hope it's not true. On Friday the 13th franchise, I think 4 is the best, but 7 is the one I watch the most. Oh, that's an interesting one. I love 7 too. I really do. Michael saying coffee for me too. Yeah, all right. Coop saying I got rid of someone bullying me and my friends yesterday. Ooh. All right, well, that's not cool. Not cool. Not cool of the bully, I mean, but I'm glad you're all situated on that. Jamie saying my favorite Friday the 13th is part 2. Ginny is my favorite final girl ever. That is a great choice, Jamie. I think Amy Steele is amazing. Angela saying no, not Kevin Bacon. I don't know who can do it, but that doesn't feel right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would choose him either, but I think what Robert was saying was someone that has that range, because we've seen Kevin Bacon play roles where he's very charming. We've seen roles where he's just on the friggin' edge and sinister, So I think he means someone like that. But again, it's tough. Having someone else play Freddy Krueger is tough. That's one of the toughest things in horror, I think, because Robert's just so iconic with it. Jackie Earle Haley did a good job as far as what he was trying to do in the remake, but I didn't love the remake at all. You guys, no comment. But what he was trying to do, I could see, and he's a good actor. But it's tough. It's tough to step into the shoes of Robert, Like I'm saying, it's hard to choose the Friday the 13th films. For me, they're all fun. They are. They really are. Everyone's going with Joaquin, Bill Moseley for Freddy. Yeah. Jamie saying, I think Kevin is an apt choice. He has the look and the body structure. I think he'd work as Freddy. I definitely think he has all the things except for one thing, and that's his age. Because the hope is that Nightmare is going to come back with some movies, right? So you got to have someone that's ready to do, at least a couple of them, which he could do right now, but nothing is set up right now, So it's like the longer we go, to me, the more difficult it would be for him to be that choice. But just in a vacuum, I could deal with that. I could, because he's a great actor. You got to have an actor that has that thing, that it factor, and he's that type of actor that has that range to, to have some comedy or wittiness, but also to be totally sinister and evil. So Annette saying in Halloween 4, a lot of people was dressed up like Michael Myers, and I'm wondering if you're things people dressed up like, if I'm talking about people dressing up like Ghostface, that yeah, if we have multiple killers, I think that would be something very cool in the new movie. I think it would be very cool. And God, I would think that would have been an idea on the table by now. So we'll see. We'll see. Gory, what's up? What's up? Gory's in the chat. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Good morning. Mosley is a good choice too. He'd be a good Freddy, and he's a great character actor. He would do well. Yeah, Bill Mosley is awesome. He definitely could. He definitely could. Blucka, get the guy who plays it to play all the horror villains. Yeah. He is good though. All right. And I'm still saying rewatchability has always been a big factor in how I rank movies. That's definitely a factor, no doubt. Jen, what is that link to, Jen? You got to tell me. Let's see. If they have to recast Freddy, my vote is for Richard Brake. I think he would kill it. It's a good idea. I like that. That is a good idea. Nanette saying, I didn't know which one I like the most of the Friday the 13th movies. I just know which one I don't like is Jason X. Hot take, hot take. Jason X is one of those movies. It's almost like people, they either like it or they don't. It's not a lot of in between. Not a lot of in between at all. Although I gotta admit, now when I first saw it, I was kind of like, I don't know. And that was obviously a long time ago. But I've actually gotten to the point, we did a watch party of it. We had a great time, a watch along of Jason X. Check it out. It was fun because you got to poke fun at some of these things, but they did have some really cool moments, and it was smart the way they used the ship basically as like Crystal Lake. I mean, there was nowhere for people to go, and Jason lurking around. So that was a smart thing. Some missed opportunities for sure, but it's not the worst to me in the franchise. I will say that. Angela saying Robert is too iconic. I love that man. He signed my original Freddy, and I was in complete delight. So glad I met him. I've always heard great things about Robert, people getting to meet him and so forth. He is iconic. He really is. Mosley was good in Devil's Rejects. Yes. I got to meet him, and he was so cool. And he spent, I don't even know, maybe about 15 minutes extra just talking to me and Coriander. And God, it was amazing. I'm like, man, I'm talking to Bill Mosley. We're just like hanging out. It was so cool. So cool. Gory's saying, my hope for the new Scream 6 is that Kirby kills Ghostface in the opening. It would be a huge shock, and we as an audience would know there's at least another Ghostface, if not a cult of them. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about that. I definitely think that, listen, and I've talked about this in videos and live streams, and also have stuff coming up. We have to have more than, well, we definitely have to have more than one. I would rather have more than two. And the idea of the cult, or, or group, whatever we want to use for a term, I think that would be a great idea. I really do. So I agree with you, Gory. It would be so cool. It really would. Let's see. Catching up with you guys. Oh, okay, Jen. Well, I'm not gonna get to see it, so not right now because I'm live streaming. So hold that off. um, but yeah, I will be checking it out, but I can't check it out right now. Yeah. Jamie saying the remake is the pits. Don't bother unless you're in for a good laugh. That's true. I love Jason X. It's got some great kills, and Janessa is awesome. Janessa was really cool. She really was. I enjoyed her character. Very, very cool. Corey saying I rewatched Friday 2 the most, but I love all of them. Been really enjoying part 5 more as of late. The humor and characters are great. Five is starting to get a lot more love. And I think a lot of us, and I'm including myself, are we're getting what they were trying to do with that movie. And they really did try to do some different things. So I really appreciate that. It does have great kills and it has some great characters. And so it has everything that you'd want in a Friday film. And when I was talking to Melanie Kinnaman, who obviously was the final girl, played Pam, she gave some insight to the movie, and I'm just becoming more and more of a fan as the years go on. So I think 5 is a great Friday. Miss Carter saying, no pressure, Night. I know landing interviews probably not easy, but sure it'd be cool if you could interview Amy Steele. Yeah, wouldn't it though? Wouldn't it? Let me just say this too, Miss Carter. I mean, if you followed the channel, which I know you have, and you've heard us talk about certain characters or actors or actresses, trust me, that's all on the table. So I agree with you 100%. 100%. Ben saying I went to a screening of TCM2 with Mosley there. He did a Q&A after and talked about hanging out with Paris Hilton and how he was so shocked at how much she got paid to do club opening appearances. Wow. That's cool. Very cool. Let's see. Coop saying I'm only here because I'm sick and get to stay home. Well, I'm glad you're here. If I wasn't sick, I couldn't be here. So I'm kind of glad to be sick. Well, I hope you feel better. But I'm glad you're here. Michael saying I like Jason Lives. Jason Lives is a great entry in the franchise, and I think that they did some great stuff. The gothic feel that Tom McLaughlin brought to the movie, I think was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. And I mean, even that was kind of a big inspiration for Scream. They talked about that. Kevin Williamson talked about Jason Lives being an inspiration for Scream and the whole idea of being meta and so forth. So, hey, I'm just saying, obviously Scream went on to be such an amazing movie and now a great franchise, but the roots are in Jason. Jamie saying, "Oh my God, please interview Amy Steele. She was a huge inspiration to me. Trust me. If we'll see what's gonna happen, but I'm a huge Amy Steele fan. That's all I'm gonna say. So you never know. You never know. You never ever know." All right. Wow, I actually caught up to the chat. Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, back to some of the Kirby stuff. Look, man, that just tells you everything you need to know. I'm a huge fan. The character was fun. I think she was one of the, and I love Scream 4, but she was a very big part of what made that film work, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to see that she's back. I just hope that she's used in the right way as a character. I think she has, so much that she could bring to this new movie. So I'm really excited. When I saw that news, I was just like, yes, I really was. I was just so happy. Jamie saying healing blessings to Coop. That is cool. That is cool. Thanks, Jamie. You're all right, Jamie. You really are. Nanette saying, why do so many people hate Friday 8? That's a good question. I mean, for you guys in the live chat, let us know. You know, if you do have an issue with Friday 8, tell us why. I think Friday 8, me personally, and I won't get too deep into it because I did do that as an episode on Nanette, by the way, and I have, uh, and I say this to so many people so many times. I'm talking to you, Miss Carter. I'm just joking, but not. But I have playlists on the channel, so if you want to see things Friday the 13th related, it's under our Friday the 13th franchise playlist. I have a Scream playlist, Halloween, a Phantasm, Terminator, and so forth and so forth. Um, Slasher Movie Club, that's a playlist. But on our Friday the 13th Part 8 um, episode discussion, I think that unfortunately, they didn't have the money that they thought they were going to have to film as much as they wanted to in New York, and not that that made the movie bad, but obviously they spent a lot more time on the boat than they had originally planned. They wanted to spend, I think it was 30% on the boat and 70% in New York, but they had to switch that around. So 70% on the boat, 30% in New York. And I just think, put it this way, in Jason X, and this is just coming to my head, all of this is obviously unscripted, as you guys know. In Jason X, I think they utilized the ship better as far as Jason stalking and killing people than they did on the boat in Jason Takes Manhattan. I think he needed to do more stalking and so forth. And that might have been because they had to change the script because they didn't have the money that they thought they were going to have. So it's an interesting conversation. But I don't hate Friday 8. I think it's got some good stuff in it, and it's still Kane still puts in a great performance as Jason. There's a little bit of a wonky ending, and we talked about that on the episode, but I still enjoyed it. Am still saying if you landed an interview with Megan from Jason Lives, Jennifer Cook, I would die, right? I would too. I couldn't believe I was interviewing Melanie Kinnaman, okay, and Deborah Voorhees. I was just like, this is amazing. But yeah, that would be really cool. And who knows, who knows? Things might be coming up. I'll just put it that way. Movies and Beyond saying Scarefest looks great this year. Robert, Kane, CJ Graham, and a lot more supposed to be there. That is awesome. I met Kane. I talked about this. Kane is amazing. I sat down, me and Coriander, we sat down. I sat right beside him, like for 15, 20 minutes, just chilling out with Kane Hodder while he's signing autographs to other people. That was amazing. And I don't know how it happened. We were just talking and just talking about our fandom and being fans of his. And I mean, the Jason mask behind me, that is autographed by Kane Hodder. And we were talking and, told him that, I have a YouTube channel at that time. It it was not, well, it's still nothing, but you get what I mean. Just starting out. And he said, well, sit down, hang out for a little bit. I was like, yes, sir. It was amazing. He's such a cool guy. He's got a great sense of humor. Really cool guy. And my favorite Jason for sure. Angela saying, I was disappointed she wasn't in Scream 5, so this makes me super happy. Yes, me too. Look, there it is right there. That's the smile. That's the smile right there, Angela. I'm glad that she's in this too. I really am. I really, really am. Gory saying, and I love Miguel Nunez in 5 as Demon. He needs to show up in more franchises. Yes. He was in Leprechaun 4, Scooby-Doo, and Return of the Living Dead 2. Yes. I know. It'd be great to see him in some other stuff, but he was awesome. I loved his scene in 5. And I was saying that to Melanie in our interview, is I think that scene where they went, her and Reggie went to visit him because Reggie and Demon were brothers. I thought that was a great scene. It was funny. It was cool. It was like, this really sweet moment, these two brothers hanging out and just, it was a nice moment. People forget about that in Friday 5. You had some really cool character moments like that, and that's why I think 5 deserves more love. And it seems like it's getting more love over the last several years. And I'm happy for that. Jen saying we got 40 votes, 88% on yes. All right. Adrian's in the chat saying because 8 was on a boat and not New York. Yeah, that's what people have an issue with 8. They really do. You all right. Yes. Am still saying Devil's Rejects watch along. Are you asking if we'll do one? Let me know. But I like Devil's Rejects. Gory saying, give this man a thumbs up or your morning coffee will be cursed. Thanks, Corey. I appreciate that. That's too funny. Oh, man. Jamie saying, Hayden was the main character in the game Until Dawn. She's fantastic in it, but the poor girl had to run around half the game in a towel. Yeah. That's a good one, Jamie. Until Dawn is cool. Coop saying, I've never seen a Friday film. Get out. Get out of here. Come on. Are you serious? It's okay if you're serious, but are you serious? Nanette saying that makes sense. The whole money issue behind 8. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, it wasn't a bad movie, I don't think so. Bluck is saying I have more fun rewatching Friday 13th than Scream 2 through 5. I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean Friday and Scream, they're so different from each other, totally different types of horror. But yeah, it is more fun watching Friday 13th, because of the style of movie it is. For me anyways. Gory saying I really enjoy Friday 8. I don't like the kid Jason stuff, but I love the look of Jason and I enjoy the new setting. The part where he kicks the boombox is great. Yes. Yes, it's true. I'm still saying Scream just isn't my thing. That's okay. That is okay. Well, I like the look of Jason minus the bad melting effects, but it's an enjoyable film. Jason on a boat is fun. Yeah, it had its moments. It had its moments. I just wish that. Well, and the other thing too, we've got to remember, and again, guys, we did deep dive discussions on each Friday the 13th movie, so you'll see, or I should say, you'll hear a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff there. But unfortunately, um, the kills were muted so badly in those later movies, 6 through 8, or 5 through 8 actually. But anyways, so 8 probably more than any of them was so muted as far as the kills. I mean, they were just cutting away on stuff, and not saying that that makes or break a movie, but for a Friday the 13th movie, that's part of the formula. Um so it dealt with a lot of stuff. It dealt with the MPAA. It dealt with not having the budget to do what they wanted to do, which originally was the game plan. The game plan was to shoot the film, a lot of it in New York, and that just didn't happen. So they dealt with a lot of things and still came out with a pretty good movie. To me, that's still a win, you know. Let's see. I'm still saying Friday 8 equals boring boat ride, lame characters. That's funny. Miss Carter saying, just to be clear, I was referring to the playlist comment. Oh, saying, hey, how did I get into this? I'm an innocent onlooker. Just kidding. Well, no, I'm just saying, and don't get me wrong, and I get it, because I think you said to me, well, I'm lazy. I just want to just see the videos that are on the page. I get it. Because we have a lot of videos, but it's a way, at least to me, I think the best part about it is it's a way, especially when we do franchises, which, as you know, we do a lot of that. We do a lot of similar themed videos. And, if you like one, you probably will like some of the others, or hopefully all of the others. So that's why I think it's good for people to check those out. And I hope that they do. But I was just picking on you. It's all good. Mega Giant saying, Night, better horror slasher movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer or Urban Legend? Ooh, now that's a good question. Now, Mega Giants, I don't know if you were with us on Monday for a slasher movie club, but well, I might as well just say it. We're going to be doing Urban Legend this coming Monday for our next episode. So I'm going to hold off on that question because that's actually something that we're going to be talking about, because those two movies do get put together quite a bit, especially for movies that kind of came after Scream, after that, original Scream wave. Carrie saying, okay, my beautiful peeps, I got to go to work. Bye, everyone. Catch you later, Carrie. Take it easy. Hope you have a good day at work. Hope you have a good day. Let's see. Nanette saying, I figured Miss Carter. Michael saying, Knight, have you seen the Hatch movies? Yes. And I'm hoping that we get a chance to do those for episodes soon. Yeah. Let's see. Jamie saying, there's a video on my channel where I'm hiking in the woods and I come across an outhouse. So I knock on the door and I say, demon? Not many catch it. That's that's awesome. I like that. I'm just picturing that in my head. I gotta see that. Oh, that's great. Demon? That's great. Gory saying, if they remake Friday 8, I need them to play I'm on a boat when he climbs aboard. Yes. That would be funny. I'm on a boat. I love that song. Coop, I'm 100% serious. Wow, you've never seen a Friday film in my life. Well, this is the chance to do it, especially because you're not feeling good. Of course, wait till we're done the stream, which will be we'll be done in a little whiles. But yeah, you should check them out. They're good movies. They really are. Seriously. And Gory is saying the same thing, thinking the same way I'm thinking. Marathon the franchise. Yes. Yep. Angela saying, homework for tomorrow. Watch the first two. Coop says, all right. You will have to let me know what you think. Seriously. Gory saying, after the stream, get on that. Yeah. You guys are good. You guys know. Wait till after the stream. That's funny. Too funny. Let's see. Coop saying, I have to wait a month to get the movies? Well, let me know. Let me know what you mean. Conrad saying, what about an interview with Roger L. Jackson himself? Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be very cool. I'd love to do that. Oh, man. Steven saying, yeah, chat with Ghostface himself or his voice. Yes. That would be so cool, though. Seriously. Who knows? I mean, anything is possible. Like I said, there's been some doors that have been opening up, so I'm really happy about that. And so we got some cool stuff. We got cool stuff coming up. We really do. Yeah, I would love to have him sign my Ghostface mask too. Gory saying, I'm meeting Roger L. Jackson next week at Crypticon. That is so cool, Gory. Seriously. Very cool. Wow. All right. Very, very cool. Gory saying, I have to know what Roger L. Jackson's favorite scary movie is. I know. You got to record yourself saying that to him. What's your favorite scary movie? Ben Grimm saying, Urban Legend is almost on par with Scream for me. I hear you. Coop, what's your favorite scary movie? Person on the other end. Comelon. What? That's too funny. I'm still saying Hostel or Cabin Fever, the original. Nanette's going with Cabin Fever. I think Cabin Fever is the more rewatchable of the two. I really did enjoy Cabin Fever. Hostel was pretty good. I'd probably go with Cabin Fever too. Yeah. Coop saying, yeah, I have to wait about a month to get a movie because I may or may not have spent about $300 on super chats last month. And yeah. Ooh, all right. So I understand that. Yeah, you got to wait, man. Pretty cool. But it's got to be streaming. It's streaming. It's and it might be free on YouTube. Sometimes movies are free on YouTube. Gory's saying sign up for the free trial of Fubu. They have a lot of Friday films and you can watch them for free. There you go. Jamie saying, I might make that little outhouse bit a short on my channel. Also found a creepy, torn, and tattered teddy bear just sitting in a tree last year during a hike. Scared the bleep out of me. That is creepy. Whew. That is creepy. Coop saying, and forgot to mention, I used it with my mom's money. Oh, yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Ooh, that's a tough one. Wow. Jason at the front of the boat like Kate Winslet in Titanic. Crazy. Gory saying to Jamie, just subbed. Which video is it? Oh, I thought you were subbed to Jamie. Jamie's awesome. You're going to love her channel. That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, Jamie, if you, well, either in the chat or preferably in the comment section, leave the link to that. I'd love to check that out real quick too, because I don't think I've ever seen that on your channel. Gory saying, I thought I was subbed to Jamie too, but glad I am now. Yeah, you know, the thing of it is that YouTube might have unsubbed you, because YouTube does that. I've been unsubbed to people before and had no idea. And I've had people come to, you know, say to me, oh, they unsubbed me for you and I didn't even know it, you know, for weeks or a couple months. So that is quite possible. Coop saying also, I'd never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street film or Halloween. What? You got homework. You got homework. This is the channel to get situated on, because, you know, we've talked a lot about Halloween, all the movies. We just finished the Friday the 13th film. So yeah, that is, but that's cool too, though, because when people can first get into these things, I love to hear their viewpoint, you know, because I've grown up, especially when you're talking about, to me, you know, the Trinity is Freddy, Michael, and Jason. And I grew up on that stuff. So yeah, very cool. Let's see. I want to make sure I catch up to you guys here. Miss Carter saying, I noticed Prime is running a few Friday the 13th movies. I didn't pay much attention because I own them all. Ooh, all right. Thank you for letting us know that. That's very cool, because again, some folks, you know, they may not be able to sign up and pay for a subscription right now. They might have to wait a little while for whatever reason, just like Coop. So it's nice to hear about places where you can watch stuff that might be running free or trials and so forth. So thanks so much for giving us that information on this live. I appreciate it. Mega Giant saying, Knight's female Scream character crush in the franchise. Hopefully I'll be seeing her in August. It's Nev. Period. There's no question about that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of Courtney Cox, even beyond Scream, you know, when you're talking about Friends and so forth. But if I was to say my number one, I'm a big fan of Hayden. You know, obviously, she only did one movie, but I was a fan of hers even before Scream 4 and since. But Nev, absolutely, there's no question. And if I get to meet her in August, guys, this channel is going to explode. It's just going to be mind blown. So I'm really hoping that happens in August, and I hope I don't make an absolute fool of myself. So fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed. Good question though, Mega Giants. I'm still saying movies The Zone should do videos on. Oh, this is okay. This is very cool. Critters, The Stuff, They Live, In the Mouth of Madness, Split, The Guest, The Void, The Gate. Very cool. Now we did do They Live. So you gotta, again, and I'm just poking fun, Miss Carter, but you gotta do what Miss Carter usually doesn't. You gotta look on our playlist. It's not under a They Live playlist. I believe it's under our Cult Classics playlist. But we did do They Live. I actually was planning to do a follow-up video on that, because I think They Live is such an interesting movie. But thank you for giving us some ideas here, and some of them we actually have thought about and plan to do, or they're on the list. Like The Stuff, we were going to do The Stuff when we did the Blob. We did the Blob, The Fly, and also we did The Thing on the old channel. We got to redo The Thing, but anyways, we were going to do The Stuff as well, but we had to hold off on that for a little bit. But good list. Let's see. Coop, you're killing me with this. You can watch Nightmare on Elm Street on Netflix. Do it today. My heart can only take so much. Coop saying, I've seen all of the Scream films. Okay, well, there you go. Yeah. Dan saying, yes, I keep creeping up on 100 connections and YouTube keeps taking them away. They do that, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Blucka saying, yeah, and it's happened to me too, Dan. So I could go all day on that, but yeah, it's too bad, man. What's a better vampire film movie, 30 Days of Night or Fright Night remake with Colin Farrell? 30 Days of Night. That was kind of an easy one for me. What do you think? Gory saying Halloween is on Shudder. Shudder has a free trial too, plus only $4 a month. You need it. It's horror Netflix, and you can catch up on the classics. That's true. Shudder is awesome. Shudder is awesome. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Angela saying so much homework to pass out here. It's exciting to me. The first time I watched all the Friday 13th in 2020 for the first time, and seeing the evolution of Jason was a lot of fun. It is fun, and when you can just get into a franchise or any new movie. I always love seeing a movie that I might have missed or whatever, and then being able to experience it the first time. It's great. And I'm still saying we need a new Pumpkinhead trilogy. That would be cool. Yeah. Conrad said Freddy's Nightmares is now on Tubi. I heard that, and that's really cool. There were some good episodes on it. Nanette saying 30 Days of Night. Yes. I agree. JH, what's up? Saying, hey, Night, new here. Love horror movies and your streams. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And welcome. And thank you for joining us. My favorite movies are Suspiria 77 and Inside from 07. That is cool. That is very cool. First of all, Suspiria is a bona fide classic. We did an episode on Suspiria, and very cool. Very cool movie. Argento is, I could go on and on about Argento, but Inside, that's cool that you said that. I've been teasing a lot of stuff, but Inside is something that hopefully we will be talking about soon. I was late to the party, so I have a lot of thoughts about that. So I'm glad to see that it has some love from some of our viewers, especially a new viewer. So like I said, welcome to the channel. We appreciate that. And this is a great community. So you'll get to meet all these wonderful people that hang out with us. So thank you. And I'm glad that you're enjoying the streams. That's always great to hear. Feedback is always great. Thank you. Jamie saying, I can't leave a link in the comments or chat because I'm not a mod, but I can tell you the names of the vids. Wow, you're not? Hold on here, Jamie. Let me just check something here. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. All right, hopefully that fixes that. Jackie is in the chat. Good morning, everyone. What's up, Jackie? How's it going? Nice to see you. Coop's got a list. Forgot to mention I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre films either. All right. You got to see, especially the first one. You got to see that one. Bluck is, hello, Jackie. That's too funny. Very cool. Coop saying I have so much to catch up on. But that's good, though. It's cool, though, because you're going to experience this stuff for the first time. Seriously. That's awesome. Nanette saying, do you like reading books? Yes. Although, and I've been so busy in the last, God knows how long, I've really gotten out of the habit, but I want to get back into the habit. I really do. Let me know if you have any favorite ones. I used to do a hell of a lot of reading. I used to have a collection of Stephen King books too, which we talked about some Stephen King stuff, just talking horror stuff, obviously, because this conversation is kind of based in horror. But yeah, I love reading. I really want to watch American Psycho. You've got to watch that one. Yes. Conrad saying, what do you think of the Wishmaster movies? I like the first one. I haven't seen it in a long time, but that was really the only one that I had any connection to. What did you think of them? I know I've heard some people talk about, well, they should do a remake and all that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see them doing a remake of it. Blucka, American Psycho, probably the best out of all them. All right. Gory saying, yeah, I get unsubbed to channels a lot and have heard that people have been unsubbed to me. Yeah, I mean, it happens. It really does. And it's too bad. As a matter of fact, no. No, I don't think I was ever unsubbed from you, Gory. But, anyways, it happens way too much. And it's too bad because, and you know this as well as I do, Gory. Um, and Jamie knows this too. When you're trying to do YouTube, you got a lot of stuff going on, and so you can't always be in touch with everyone. And if you get unsubbed, you just lose that connection, and you may not know for a while. So it's too bad. It really is. Jen saying that she loves the Wishmaster movies. All right. Michael saying Michael is not going to talk. Why? Why is that, Michael? Did I miss something? Oh man. Let's see. Blucka saying I like 30 Days of Night, but most people I know hate it. Really? I don't know any, and not anyone I can think of that hates it. But we all have different experiences. The Outhouse one is in my Walkabout and Cartwright playlist. It's called Not Quite an Outhouse. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I want to see that. That is awesome. Miss Carter saying, just a suggestion, Night. Maybe you should start a revisit movie reviews for some of your most requested movies. Do you mean like if they're movies that I've already done? I think that's what you mean. And if so, I agree. And at some point that's the game plan, because we've gotten to the point where we've done so many episodes that some episodes will get lost in the shuffle. So that is something that we'll be doing soon, because we have to. But let me know if that's what you mean, Miss Carter. I think that's what you mean. Nanette saying, I've only seen the first 3 Wishmasters, but I like them. All right. Very cool. Blucka saying, welcome to JH. Very cool. Gory saying, speaking of watch parties, I still need to see Avatar. Would love to watch it with you and Coriander and Killian if they are available. That would be cool. And, it's funny because we talked about that the other week. Actually, now it's been a couple weeks. And then the realization, because I was trying to get everyone involved. And of course, as you know, Avatar is a long movie. So then we were thinking about, okay, when could we do it? The time frame. But I still do want to do it. And speaking of which, Gory, I'll have to get in touch with you on Twitter too. I want to try to plan that. I really do. I don't know if, and I guess I can talk about it because it's out there. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for Avatar 2, but I saw it in the theater in front of Doctor Strange, and wow, it just looks so awesome. It really does. The first movie, God, man, just great. But anyways, so we'll have to talk about that, Gory. And I also, and I think I mentioned it to you, we've been talking about it. I'm right here ready to maybe do some merch type of stuff. So it's always good to be able to get some key pointers from you, because you're just awesome like that. So yeah, I'll have to catch up with you on Twitter whenever you have time, though. Don't feel like you have to rush around. So Jamie saying, I go hiking a lot and I've found some really weird stuff out there. Isn't that true? I like going hiking too. I once did a hike. I wanted to do this for an episode so bad, but it is what it is. And I went to this old cemetery, and I saw this headstone, and it was really, really creepy, because it was something I noticed, not to get long-winded. But anyways, I went hiking. It was like a week later, and went to the same cemetery, and the headstone, the writing was almost totally wiped clean. Like you could barely see it. And I was like, what the hell happened? Just weird stuff like that. So, needless to say, I got out of there pretty quick. I was like, you know what? I've seen enough horror movies. It's it's time to head back. Coop saying, Gory, my mom is obsessed with Avatar. That's cool. It's very cool. Is your mom a fan of sci-fi, Coop, or horror, or just movies in general? Let us know. That's very cool. Angela saying the Pumpkinhead's costume is on display right now, and it was amazing to see. Oh, cool. Very cool. Christian's in the chat saying original Candyman or remake. Which one is better? I enjoy both, but felt the first one still kicks ass. Okay, well look, and we have done episodes on that too. We did episodes on the original, and we covered everything leading up to the remake. Well, sequel. It's not really a remake. As a matter of fact, it isn't. But anyways, people use different terminology. I got to go with the original. I think that one still is the best in the whole franchise. It just was such a great movie. Everything about it. The new movie I thought was good. It had some things I think they did very well, some things that I don't think they did super well, but I enjoyed it, So hopefully that answers that for you, Christian. Gory saying to Coop, guys, stop taking your mom's money so she could afford to see the new Avatar sequel. Yes, that is true. He's laughing. Conrad saying, I watched the Wishmaster movies during the pandemic. I've become a fan, an instant fan of those movies. That is cool. Oh, hey, we got a super chat. Oh, what's up, Retro? Thank you so much. A $10 super chat. That is so cool. What's up, dude? Found you through a Facebook group. Almost. Yeah, it is almost Friday 13th. It is. What are your top 3 horror franchises? Oh, man. That's good. All right. Well, number one is Friday the 13th, and we've been very vocal about that on the channel. Myself, Coriander, and Killian. For me personally, yes, that's my favorite horror franchise. It's just over the years since I was a little kid, and Friday the 13th was the movie that got me going on my horror fan journey. So Friday the 13th is my favorite. In the other 2 spots, it's tough. I mean, I'm a huge Halloween fan. So, I'm going to put that in there as well. And I probably would say Scream. Just so consistent through each movie. And I love the characters. I've grown up with those characters. So I'm a huge Scream fan. So I would say that those would be my 3. That's a great question, though. And I appreciate that. And thank you so much for, coming here and hanging out and supporting the channel. It's great, and I'm glad we were able to be found through Facebook. Seriously, so thank you so much. I appreciate that. And in your honor, we're going to do something different here. Usually it's Baby Can You Dig Your Man. We're going to do some other stuff too. Here we go.
And you'll never see another tequila sunrise.
Some Christopher Lee. Thank you so much, Retro. I appreciate that so much. Seriously, thank you. And that will go a long way to help us with our journey, our 12-hour journey to Monster Mania in New Jersey. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Jamie, I'm a mod now. I thought I already made you one. I'm sorry. But yes, thank you. Coop saying, gonna be honest, the Scream franchise is the only horror films I've seen. That's okay. That is okay. You're on the road now. Now you can start catching up. And that's a really exciting thing to me. Angela saying the 3rd Wishmaster is the best of them, in my opinion. Ooh, okay. All right. Jamie saying I made a mistake. The one that's named Not Quite an Outhouse isn't the right one. Uh-oh. Okay, so you have to let us know. Gory saying you're in the right place for some good recommendations. Visit me on my channel sometime. I'll tell you about some more. Absolutely. And for you guys in the live chat, seriously, and for all these other great content creators, check them out, support them. As you see, they support each other. Gory's got a great channel. Jamie does as well. So just check them out. They know their horror. Angela as well. You know, it, like I said, it's crazy. This community is so awesome, and so many different takes on movies, but also just a love for the genre. And I still get, I don't want to say amazed, but it's so cool to be able to connect with so many other folks that have that love as well. And also, getting a chance to work with them and collaborate with them and to get to know them a little bit better. Gory's been on the channel a couple times. I've been on hers, you know, same thing with Angela, you know, which by the way, Angela, I mean, doing those Final Destination movies, that was just so much fun. But yeah, definitely check out these other great content creators. Jamie, I'll have to get you on the channel too. I think I've already said that, but if the chance comes up, if you have time, that'd be great to have you on as well. So very, very cool, guys. Coop saying, all right, bet. Yeah, definitely check them out. Coriander's in the chat. What's up, Coriander? Good afternoon, all. Popping in on my break to support this sexy man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop. Stop. Thank you so much, though. I hope that you're having a good day at work. I really do. Let's see. Probably means Michael Myers won't talk. Peter's in the chat saying, I'm confused what I did. I don't know. What did you do? Blucka saying hello to Coriander. Let's see. Gory saying, I love 30 Days of Night, the movie, and the graphic novels. Very cool. Yeah, that movie was good. I didn't read the graphic novels, though. I'll have to catch up on that then. Christian saying, damn, I love the Wishmaster series. Very cool. Coop saying, well, unless you count 2019's Joker, which I don't, Scream 1 through 5 and the TV show 3 seasons are the only horror stuff I've seen. All right. Well, like I said, you'll have some fun stuff to catch up on for sure. Michael and Gory saying hi to Coriander. All right. Blucka saying, Coriander, do you get Night to wear the Jason or Michael Myers mask ever? We wore now. So this seems to be that I know you guys can't watch everything, so I'm kind of joking around a little bit, but seriously, a lot of times when you guys ask these questions, it's possible that we've done it. We did for our Halloween watch along stream, which was, I believe it was in October. We did a watch along of the classic, the immortal classic, and I was in the Michael Myers mask for a little while. And I think Coriander was in her Jason hockey mask. I really do. Let's see. So check that out. Check it out. Nanette. Okay, so you love Stephen King books too. That is cool. Very cool. Ray Bradbury. All right. That is very cool. I got to get back into reading. I really do. It used to be such a fun thing, as far as almost like a relaxation, type of thing for me. And I haven't been able to get back into it for so long, but I do miss it. I mean, even as a kid, I used to, after I would even do homework, before I would go to sleep, I usually would read every night. So very cool. Miss Carter saying, yes, Night. I mean, meant movies you already reviewed. Yeah. So we're definitely gonna, excuse me, gonna have to do that because we've gotten to a point where we gotta revisit those episodes. So yeah, I like that idea, because it gives people a chance to see maybe a different take on something, because sometimes we have different takes as well. So thank you so much for that, Miss Carter. Matter of fact, in the comments, put that in the comments too, because maybe I'm going to do that sooner than I thought, because everything is all about schedule. So maybe I'll start doing that a little sooner than I thought. But thank you, though. I appreciate that, Miss Carter. Retro saying, damn, I haven't watched Wishmaster since the theaters. All right. It's been a while for me too, though. Coop saying my mom cried when she saw the trailer for Avatar 2. Oh wow. All right. I gotta admit, man, when I saw it, I got a little, you know, I was like, wow, this is just cool because the first one is just so amazing. It was one of my most favorite theater experiences as far as the movie itself because it was just so amazing. The technology and the 3D and just being in this whole nother world. So I'm really excited for part 2 as well. Gory saying that sounds great, Night. Really enjoying streaming with you, and I'm here to help you with that merch store anytime. Yeah, I mean, hey, we might as well talk about it. Yeah, people have been asking, and I'm thinking maybe it'll be a good idea to do that before Monster Mania. So yeah, Gory, I have some ideas, but of course, you know me, I'm pretty open to, other suggestions and stuff like that too, because more heads are better than one. So yeah, I definitely want to work on doing some merch. So that's my project that hopefully I'll be able to tackle, or at least kind of get into sooner than later. So yeah, let me know any thoughts that you have, and we'll connect. I'll connect with you too on Twitter, or if you want to throw me something first, that's perfectly fine. But yeah. And thank you so much. I appreciate the help. That's what's awesome about this community. Everyone is so helpful and so kind. Like I said, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It really is. Miss Carter saying hello to the beautiful half of the Night Watch Zone, Miss Coriander. That's right. Thanks, Miss Carter. She truly is. She truly is. She is the beautiful half. Retro saying, as a kid, I refused to go camping because of Jason. Right? So true. Coop saying my mom hates horror. Oh, but she does like sci-fi, right? Yeah, let me know. Let me know. Michael says I went on the internet and looked up Jason can talk. All right. I don't doubt that. I know Michael can. He just chooses not to. Dan saying good morning to Coriander. That's right, Steven. When Sydney said that in the 4th movie, I loved it. Don't fuck with the original. It was so cool. Coriander saying, "Oh, thanks, Miss Carter." Yes, I know, Coriander. I'm hoping that Dan feels better too. I told him he's got to get better. So once we go down to Jersey, we'll be all situated. So he's got time to rest and heal up. Corey telling Coop, "Okay, I'm adopting you. I'll be your freaky horror godmother. I'll screen the classics for you, for you on cast if I need to." That's funny. Retro saying, even though my parents introduced me to horror movies, they created this monster. Peter saying Scream is extremely overrated. Do you mean the franchise or just the first one? Let me know. Nanette saying, I was lucky when I was growing up. My grandma loved horror movies and we would watch them together. She raised me, by the way. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Dan saying, still sick, but getting there. What are you cooking today, Coriander? We all want to know that. Very cool. Dan saying Christopher Lee was still collaborating with a heavy metal group on their albums in his 90s, right? Oh man, Christopher Lee was amazing. So amazing. Michael, my top 3 horror franchises is Halloween, Nightmare, and I'm Street. I might be reading that wrong. Retro saying, Coop, I've also missed out on a ton of movies, but we now get to experience the movies with fresh eyes. And that's true. That's what I mean. Being able to see these movies with fresh eyes is so cool to get an idea on what people think, you know? I like Scary. What's up in the chat? Saying, what's up, Night? What's up, man? Nice to see you. Good stream too, man. I came in late to your stream, but I was able to pop in and hang out for a little bit. That was really cool, man. Very, very cool. Let's see. Angela saying those were great weeks. You mean when we were doing Final Destination? And if that's what you mean, I think that's what you mean. They were. We had we had some fun. We really did. That was great. It was fun to have you on. Jamie saying horror fan for life, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Nanette asking Gory, is your username the same as your channel name? Ooh. She's saying, yes, I'm Gory B Movie on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Easy to find me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jamie saying, just message me on Twitter, Night. I'd love to be on with you sometime. Cool. I will do that. I will do that. That'd be really, really fun. Very cool. Let's see. Coriander saying Blockahy has worn it twice. Yeah. Oh, the mask. Yes, I did. I went trick-or-treating too, man. I had the mask on. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I think I mentioned this on that stream. But look, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. When you have the mask on and nobody knows who you are, it does. You do feel the power. It was crazy. I had some fun with it. I don't know about the kids. I scared. Not always on purpose, but yeah, it's too funny. Blucka saying, I'll have to find the video. Yeah, it was our Halloween watch along stream, and it was, I believe it was right after we finished reviewing all of the Halloween movies. We had just done Kills, if I'm not mistaken. So it's in the Halloween playlist. And if not, let me know, Blucka, because every once in a while I might miss a video. You can only imagine how much work it is to, keep track of everything. But yeah, that's what we did. And yes, Coriander had on the Jason Voorhees mask. Conrad saying, hot take. Wes Craven's New Nightmare isn't that bad. It's not a hot take for me, man. I really enjoyed New Nightmare, and I think that it didn't get the appreciation it deserved at the time. You know what I'm saying? I think people have kind of started to come around on it and understand what Wes was trying to do. I think it was a very good sequel in the franchise, which we did talk about. That was on the older channel, and obviously, if you guys have paid attention, we haven't done any Nightmare. Actually, we did have one video. One of the few videos that survived from the old channel, I think, was our Nightmare remake episode. I'll have to double check with that. But anyways, we're going to go through the Nightmare movies all over again. And when we talked about Wes Craven's New Nightmare, that was a really fun episode. And we're fans of it. I'm a fan of it, seriously. Retro saying, I used to like reading those Stephen King short story books. Yes, good point. I did too. And I want to get back into that too. There's some great short stories that he's done. Now all I do is play video games and watch movies. That's not a bad thing. Miss Carter saying, the real question mostly for Coriander, has Night ever tried to serenade you with I'll Be There? Yes. She hates that song though. Peter saying, am I allowed to comment? Yes. Yes. As long as you're respectful of everyone. Yeah. Why are you asking? You're not, it does it say you're not allowed? Let me know. Sorry, guys. JH. Night, do you have any merch? Your logo on the front, Ed Harris dance face on the back. Laugh out loud. I don't have any merch yet, but I'm planning to do some. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, you guys will be interested in it, because obviously otherwise it's not really worth doing, but hoping to do that soon. I don't know if I can do the Ed Harris dance face, although that is so funny. It really is. Thanks for that comment. That That caught me off guard. That was great. Steven saying New Nightmare was a gift from Wes. It was. Yeah. Retro saying better 3D experience, Avatar or Friday the 13th Part 3. Laugh out loud. Well, I only saw Friday the 13th at home back when I was a kid because I wasn't old enough to see it in the theater. That would have been a fun thing to do though. But it was definitely Avatar. There's no question about that. There's no doubt about that. But I love Part 3. I do. So Jamie saying I'd rock a Night Watch t-shirt. Awesome. That is great. Thanks. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate that. Val saying Gory B and Coriander help get this man a merch store going. It's funny too, because and I think you guys are starting to get the hang of it, but there's a lot of discussion that goes on with what we do for shows and live streams, and I get a lot of great input, obviously from Coriander and from Killian, and from a lot of my friends, and some of them being YouTubers. So, yeah, I'm hoping to do it, Val. And Val, thanks so much. You're such a great supporter of the channel, but I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to do it. Let me know, what would you like to see for merch? Maybe I should, I just thought about this. This just came to my head. And of course, I talked to a lot of folks, other content creators and friends outside of, this, but I might pose this question to channel members, to patrons too, just to get an idea. Val, let me know what you would like to see for merch. And do you have any idea on the designs you'd like to see? Just a question. And if you don't have any ideas, feel free. You don't have to answer. Don't feel any pressure. But I'm just curious because that just came to my mind, saying to Miss Carter, saying to Peter, just try not to post spoilers. Yes, no spoilers of any kind, please. And be patient. Knight has a lot of comments to read. Oh yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Although, with a live stream like this, it is so much easier because that's basically what I'm doing, is just trying to keep up with comments. When I'm doing a specific show on a topic, it's almost impossible to talk about a movie, to review it or discuss it or whatever. Work with, images or video, whatever I'm doing with that. Host the show with, obviously if it's Coriander and Kill, if we have any guests, and also read the comments. And also the comments might take us into different directions. So that's literally almost impossible, but it seems like we're doing okay with it and folks are okay with it too. So that's all that counts. But yeah, I'm going to get to you guys, or at least try my best to get to you guys. But thanks for that, Miss Carter. I'm glad. And for you guys that are helping out, in the chat, all the mods and so forth, I appreciate you guys answering questions like that because it really helps. It really does. Retro saying, I would buy a shirt and a coffee mug or pint glass. I collect those. Love supporting creators like you. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. I mean, and like I said, everything that we do, we try to have some type of, connection with the viewers and the community to see what they are interested in. And seriously, comments like that help. They really inspire and gives us feedback. So that's definitely something that hopefully will be coming soon. But thank you so much. We really appreciate that. I appreciate it more than I could probably say. But thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot. It really means a lot, truly. Gory saying, I need a Night Watch shirt that says on the back. You love it when I say that. Gory is probably the biggest fan of that catchphrase. I'd never thought that catchphrase would, quote unquote, catch on. If you're reading this, you are the Night Watch. I do love that. That's great. Thanks, Gory. Nanette saying, well, I have over 600 books. Wow, that is crazy. And you have Kindle. Wow, I do a lot of reading, but some of my books are nonfiction. That is so cool. Over 600 books. Wow, that is awesome. Very cool. Coop saying, to be honest, I don't know if she likes sci-fi. Well, Avatar is sci-fi, so that's why I was asking. Just saying. But that's cool though. My mom, she kind of went back and forth on some things too. She used to say she wasn't a fan of horror, but yet the first time I saw Silence of the Lambs or Alien. I saw it with her. So yeah, pretty cool, man. Blucka saying Kung Fu Hustle or Shaolin Soccer. Ooh, yeah. Uh, I'm probably leaning to Kung Fu Hustle. That's tough. I could go back and forth on that. Seriously, that's a good question though, man. I like that. That was a good one. Woke up. What I miss, man, in afternoon. What's up, Cody? You haven't missed too much. We're just hanging out and having fun. And I'm answering questions. So, there might have been some cool questions that, if you watch the replay in the beginning, we're probably going to go for another, 10 or 15 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. But good to have you. Good to have you. Val is going with Kung Fu Hustle. Very cool, Val. Val is super, super cool. Super, super cool. Coop saying Scream 3 is underrated. Yes, that is true. I agree. Nanette saying I haven't seen them movies. Which ones? Let me know. You might be talking about Kung Fu Hustle or Shaolin Soccer, but let me know. Let's see. Corey Anderson, I hope you're better soon, Dan, and I'm not sure what I'll be cooking, right? We got to figure that out. Coop saying agree. I'm sorry, Gory saying to Coop, agreed. I really enjoy Scream 3. Yes. Jamie also saying Scream 3 is great. Parker Posey is always a treat. Parker Posey stole the show, man. She was so good in that movie. I absolutely loved her character. Yes. Good call. Corey Anderson saying, Valerie, I've talked about merch for a while now. I know. I'll get on it. Listen, and creator, there's so much that I'm doing, channel wise. Part of it was also that I just figured I could put that on the back burner for a little bit. But yeah, we'll do something for sure. Cody saying I was watching Scream last night, and when Billy told Sidney why he was killing people, I saw Stu look back and looked confused. Do you think Billy told him why they were killing people? I know exactly what you're talking about, and that was an interesting scene, wasn't it? It really was. I wonder. Well, I won't say much more, but I don't know. I don't know if Billy told him everything. I could look at it both ways. What do you think? I that's a good question. I don't know. I could see it go both ways, but I do remember that look. And especially when we've covered all the Scream movies too on the channel. And when we talked about Scream, and I've seen the movie, I don't even know how many times, dozens and dozens. But anyways, rewatching it for that episode and paying attention to certain things to prepare, I really keyed in on that too, so very cool. Miss Carter saying, I need an invite to lunch and Miss Coriander's house. Everything always looks yummy. Yeah, everything is always yummy. She is an amazing cook. Beyond amazing. Michael saying, I meant to say my favorite horror franchises is Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream. Okay. All right. Good choices. And yes, Angela was talking about the fun times we had on the Final Destination movies. It was fun. It was so much fun. And we had talked about doing Final Destination for a while, so I was so happy to do it. And then when you and I talked and you were able to join on, I was like, this is great, because, especially for folks that are just awesome, content creators and friends and friends of the channel. I just love to get their takes on these things. So it was so much fun to have you. We got to do it again. I know I always say that, and I know you're busy and everyone's busy, but like I always say to folks and people that watch my videos, they know, we have folks that, they make multiple appearances. And so the door is always open. It's always open. Dan saying Shaolin Soccer needs more love. We used to watch Stephen Chow movies all the time on VHS way back. It does need more love. It really does. Yeah. I agree with you, Dan. Jen saying 9 years ago, I wish Joss Whedon and Wes Craven would collaborate on a film or TV show. It would be amazing. 9 years ago, you said that. Oh, okay. Coriander saying, hell no, Miss Carter. He knows better than that. What? I don't know. I don't know which one that was from. Let's see. Wow, you guys are working hard here. I'm so far behind. I was caught up for a little while. Coop saying the fact that 3 had the guts to kill Cotton when the actor wanted Cotton to be killed and they agreed gives me a bigger respect for the film. Yes. I agree. Val saying Coriander, we just need to keep pushing him on it. I think he would have good success with it. Merch? Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how successful it is. We are going to do some, hopefully soon, but hopefully it'll be successful. Nanette saying, I love New Nightmare. Yes, I do too. It is such a good film and totally underrated in the franchise. Waffles, what's going on? Say, hey, brother, hope you're good, man. I'm doing good. Just hanging out in the morning, hanging out with you guys. And like I said, it's fun to do. And I really get a chance to talk to folks, more intimately than in our regular live streams. Because it's a challenge, when you're on a specific topic. But these Thursday mornings have been a lot of fun to just catch up with folks and hear what they think. So thanks so much for popping in, man. And you'll be with Patrick, right? Yeah. So that'll be fun. I'll be checking that out, man. Very cool. Coop saying, how do I type? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. Yes, Dan, I am too. And Retro with a $5 super chat. Thanks so much. Favorite song from a 13 movie. I love His Eyes from part 5 and Darkest Side from the Night from 8. Ooh, well, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm very partial to The Man Behind the Mask from part 6. When I first heard that song, and again, I was a kid when it came out, so that might be part of it, the memories and stuff. But when the movie ended, that song would come on. And man, I used to sometimes pop in Friday the 13th part 6 just to play the song at the end. So I might go with that. His Eyes from part 5 was great too. When we did the part 5 episode, it was funny because I started singing it a little bit. But that's the thing. Friday the 13th had some really good music, so it's multiple ones. But yeah, The Man Behind the Mask for part 6, that was some awesome stuff, man. But thank you so much for the super chat. Here's another song that's pretty interesting. We'll play this for you in honor of your super chat. Thank you so much.
Image for the moon and the miserable groan from the pain that you felt when I was born.
Yeah. I've got some wacky shit here, man. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Retro. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. And hopefully you enjoyed the little Mr. T moment. Miss Carter saying, I don't know what's going on with Peter Parker, but I noticed one of his comments was put on timeout. Wasn't me, but guessing it had something to do with spoilers. Could be. I don't know. See, that's the beauty of having you guys as mods, is that you guys can check all that stuff out, because it's hard for me to do it while I'm live streaming. So, but yeah, I'll let you guys figure that out if you're able to. If not, then we'll just keep on going. Retro saying, hey, Jamie, just recognized you. I've seen you on Christian Hannah Horror and Tight White streams. Yes. Very, very cool. Jamie is awesome. She really is. Jen saying, gotta go. I have an appointment in 30 minutes. Have a great day, y'all. Thank you so much, Jen, and hope your appointment goes well. And thank you for hanging out. It's been fun. What's up? The Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. What's going on? Darren's in the house saying afternoon, night. What's going on? Nice to see you. Hope your afternoon is going well too. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Is it the afternoon where you're at? I just thought about that. You got to let me know, Darren. But thank you so much. Great to see you. I appreciate you hanging out. Retro saying, I like your logo. That would look cool on a shirt, mug, or pint glass. Um, Thank you. I appreciate that. Do you mean the logo of me? Because it's kind of funny because we have a couple of different things that we've used. That's the beauty of being a small YouTuber, is that you can kind of try different things. Um, but the logo of the Night Watch Zone, with the moon in the back, that was something that I had a lot of fun working on. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Coop saying, bro, I'll find it funny how Avatar came out in 2009. No sequel for like 12 years. And now there's 4 sequels lined up for like the next 6. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I don't know. I, I don't know how that's going to go, as far as having that many movies lined up that quick. We'll see, though. But, James Cameron took so much time to work on the technology for the movies. So I'm excited for what he's going to do because of that, because he obviously decided to wait and for a purpose. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Miss Carter saying, I love oversized t-shirts. I totally buy a Night Watch Zone night sleep shirt. That's funny. Night sleep shirt. Whenever anybody says, morning night or afternoon night, or good morning night, whatever, it's always funny just hearing it. Night sleep. That's good. Eric said, are you still going? Damn, bud. Good for you. Yeah, me, man. I just, what can I say? But we are going to be ending pretty soon. Maybe another 5 minutes. We've been going for a while. So, but hey, Waffle saying, hey to Gory. Darren saying, I need a Night Watch watch. I have never thought about that. Are you kidding? I've never thought about that. Seriously. I've never thought about that. That is too funny. Would you really get one, Darren? That's what I'd want to know. Miss Carter saying, hell, I'd really be happy if Kill would pose for a Night Watch Zone shirt. we'll have to get one where we're both or all three of us on it or something with one of our taglines, most likely. That would be cool. That would be very, very cool. Let's see. Darren saying, I worked on Kung Fu Hustle. Stephen Chow is an absolute gent. I've heard so many cool things about him. I really have. That is cool that you did. What did you do? That is awesome, man. Seriously. I love that movie. And I've heard so many cool things about Stephen Chow. That is very cool. Nanette saying a lot of people don't like it. When it first came out, now people are liking Avatar. So that's probably why they're making it now. Well, I don't know. I mean, because when it came out, the movie became the number one, grossing movie of all time. But I think actually what I think happened was it became the number one grossing movie of all time. It was in theaters for so long, but theater runs for movies were so different back then. But I think what happened is after, it kind of had so much success, people started to, find things that they thought weren't that great about it or whatever. People talked about, the story isn't original and this and that. Like, no story is original anymore. Every movie borrows from something else. I mean, Star Wars borrowed from other stuff. So I think it became a thing where it was kind of cool to not like Avatar for a while. And, now we're going to see if things change. I think if this movie is good, I think it's going to be good. I think it could possibly be great. I think people are going to be like, oh yeah, it was pretty good, or it is pretty good. So it's interesting stuff though. Seriously. Retro saying happy Friday 13th to you all. Thank you so much. Angel saying, I got to get going for a tattoo appointment. Wish me all the endurance. Have a great day, everyone. Oh, thanks so much, Angela. And I hope everything goes well with the appointment. That is very cool. Part of me wants to get a new tattoo as well, man. But good luck with the endurance. Mine, it took a hell of a lot of endurance because it's, it goes up my arm down to my chest. And wow, man, I got to admit, I couldn't believe that I made it. But good luck to you, Angela. Thank you so much. Happy Friday 13th to you all tomorrow. Okay. Gotcha. Jamie saying, hot take. Blade 3 is actually fun, entertaining, and delightful. I agree. I enjoyed Blade 3 as well. Yes, I really, really do. Gory saying, Coriander, I'll help you and Knight get something started for merch on Teespring. It's really easy. Just message me on Twitter and I can help set it up and upload your designs. Oh, wow. That's so nice of you. Seriously. Yeah, I definitely will try to do something. I will. Jamie saying to Angela, blessings for endurance. Yes. Absolutely. Ben saying, best looking food in horror. That stew Elvira made looked good in her movie. Also, the soul pizza Freddy had looked delicious. I don't know what I would say is the best food. I always wondered what well, the soul food pizza was a cool scene, but I don't know. I used to wonder how that would taste, but I was like, that's a good one. The stew. It might have been good. Cody saying, I wish they would have made a supernatural movie. If you've seen the show, I think a movie would have been cool. And I still got to get into the show. I just haven't had a chance, but I've heard so many good things about it. And it does seem like the type of story that would be great as a movie. Seriously. Yeah. Nanette was saying Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer are the two movies I haven't seen. Okay. All right. If you're an action fan, if you're a martial arts movies fan, if you are a comedy fan or any of those things, you probably would enjoy them. I teach martial arts, so for me, martial arts movies are already locked in. I'm already invested and interested in them. So let's see. Coop saying it's weird how the Avatar 5 script has been finished since 2017. It is weird. It is so weird. We'll see how it all turns out, though. I'm interested. Waffle saying, hey, are you going to Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey? I'll be there. That's my stomping grounds. Hey, all right. Then I will be seeing you there. That's the game plan, man. Seriously, that is awesome. Very cool. Very, very cool. Jamie, the ham sandwich from Halloween 2. Yeah, that is cool. I forgot Mr. T tried to rap, right? Yes, that's true. Oh, man. And Jamie saying that to Retro, sorry I missed your comment. I'm on Region Free too, so check that channel. Absolutely, yes, Region Free. Very cool. I know I got to catch up on some of the episodes too, but seeing all you guys together it's really cool. And I've been a fan of Piz for a long time. Darren saying, I posted the message an hour and a half ago. It was the afternoon. Was it really an hour and a half ago? Come on, because I've been on for now like 2.5 hours, so I know I'm like so far behind the chat. Nanette saying, I'll be back in a minute. I need to go get some food to eat. Food talk is making me hungry, and it's 1:09 p.m. now. All right. We may not be here, but thank you so much for hanging out. I'm glad you're seeming to enjoy the community here and that you're new to the channel, and welcome. So, and I'll definitely be trying to check out what you've got going on too. I always get curious to see, new creators and stuff. So thank you so much, Nanette. Let's see. Darren saying, is someone misreading the room with 4 Avatar movies? Supposedly that was the game. That was the game plan. I don't know if that's still the game plan, but supposedly they had multiple movies all scripted out and so forth. I don't know if that's still the case, but it's crazy. Coop saying there was a tornado watch in my area yesterday. I think it touched down really close. Ooh. Well, I hope everything is okay with that. Tornadoes are freaky. Ooh. Amber saying Supernatural is a great show. They're about to put out the prequel show for it. I heard about that. I gotta catch up. But I've heard so many good things about the show. Seriously. Cody saying Cobra Kai coming September. I know. I know. And that's I'm back. That was quick. That was quick. Retro saying the jar of peanuts and Sunny D from part 3. I can't lie, man. It's so funny you say that. That's so funny because every time I see that scene, I actually think to myself, man, that does look good. Too funny. Amber saying, I'm trying to make it to Monster Mania. Just got to come up with the dough. Yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited. I'm excited. There's a bunch of people that are going to be there, so I'm excited about that too. Get to meet some folks. That'll be so much fun. Coop saying it was very scary. Oh man, I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, and Amber saying the same thing. Glad you're okay. Absolutely. So prayers. Gory saying, Night, you almost caught up. You go, boy. Hey, it takes a little while, but yeah. You get caught up, man. You get caught up. Yeah, it does look like I'm caught up. That's cool. All right. Coop saying it was the second tornado threat this week, except this one actually touched down, unless the other one touched down and I had no ideas. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, tornadoes are freaky. What's even freakier is watching the tornado chasers, man. They got guts. They really do. The table full of food from Gretel and Hansel looked good, so good too. Nanette saying, I just made a salad and I'm watching you on my TV and messaging on my phone. Oh, I'm on the big screen. That's really cool. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh man. Yeah, tornado chasers, they got big guts. They really do. They're crazy, but they got guts because I couldn't do it. I could not do it. As interesting as it is, I mean, and I can see the allure of it, but I just, yeah, man. Amber saying Amber Heard might be going to jail for perjury. Karma, baby. Oh, some interesting stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff I just, like I said, and I said that anyways, but trial is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Crazy stuff. The Custard from Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead. Now, come on now. Come on. Cody saying, do you think anyone will die in season 5 of Cobra Kai? Ooh, I don't know. It's a good question. That is a good question. But I still have to catch up. I'm still a season behind, technically a season, because I watched some and caught up on the other season. So anyways, but I do love it though. I love it. And I was really surprised when I first started watching Cobra Kai. I didn't think that. I just wondered how they were going to do a show like that, and I'm so surprised at how good it is. And yeah, I'm glad they took a chance on it. I'm so glad. Coop saying, I heard about a YouTuber who died because they got pulled out of a car because of a tornado, and that was last week. So yesterday I was like, what the frick, God, I don't want to die. Yeah. That's cool. Well, actually, no, it's not cool, but that's crazy. Pulled out of a car. Jeez. It's scary stuff, man. Ben Grimm saying, Twister had me wanting to be a tornado chaser. I was just thinking of Twister. It's so funny that you said that because, like I said, I can see how it could be exhilarating and exciting, and it is interesting, but it's so dangerous. It really is. Miss Carter saying, don't gas up Knight's head. He'll start thinking he can keep up with the chat all the time. Laugh out loud, kidding. Yeah, no, I know. I cannot keep up with the chat all the time. It's just the name of the game. But I do try. I come close. Gory saying, truth be told, I've always wanted to try the stuff. Not me. That movie, when I saw that as a kid, that movie freaked me out. It really did. But I love it. It's a great film. Ben saying there's a found footage movie about tornado chasers called Into the Storm that's pretty good. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I think I know what movie that is. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll have to check it out. Coop saying, "Anywho, I'm gonna go see you all." All right. Cody saying, "I'm gonna head out, y'all. Got the new episode of The Flash to watch." Okay, Cody. Catch you next time. Thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Amber saying, "Marshmallow goodness to the stuff." Oh man. Corey, Coop, go do your horror homework, young man. Coop saying, "Also to elaborate on that message before I go, that YouTuber didn't die last week. I heard about it last." Okay, gotcha. Catch you later, Coop. Drayton Sawyer's chili in Texas Chainsaw 2. Yeah. The peppercorns, right? That's too funny. Oh man. Yeah, you gotta love Drayton. He was so good at that movie. He was freaking crazy as hell. Oh man. Ben saying, "I live in Oklahoma. I have friends that get excited and go out when tornadoes are coming. Nobody been hurt yet." Ooh. All right. Amber said, "You guys know that Firestarter is on Peacock for free tomorrow." Yes, Firestarter. I'm interested. I'm really interested. I'm hoping it's going to be good. I am. I hope so. Blucka saying, Kung Fu Hustle on its way to the top, Night. Give it a few months. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But it was fun talking about it. I love that movie so much. I really do. It was fun to talk about it. I'm glad that we did it, and it was a good request, man. It was a good request. Nanette saying, "I'm picky about my TV shows right now. I'm watching American Horror Story and Stranger Things and Castle Rock." Wow, that's a good group of shows. Very cool. Very, very cool. Let's see. Yeah, Amber saying, "Good shows, Nanette." Yes. Plucka saying, "Did you change your picture?" Mine? Oh no, you must be talking. Oh, I think you're talking to Amber. Okay. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, what? Change what? What are you talking about? I'm live. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, Amber saying, "Yes, Plucka, my hair is blue now." All right. Very cool. Well, all right, guys, we're gonna get ready to end it here. This is probably a good time. We've been going for a while. I'm surprised, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. I appreciate that, and it's been fun to chat with everyone. And we have some new folks to the community, and all you guys that have been here for a while, you did a great job welcoming them, and that's awesome too. So hey, that's what this is all about. That's what I'm always happy to see, is everyone just being cool with each other and just having a good time, especially in the morning and now afternoon. So Blucka, as we head on out, saying, "Night, you would really like Supernatural. A lot of the big horror icons make cameos." I've heard so many great things about it. So at some point, I'm definitely going to be catching up on it. Gory saying, "How great was the breakfast that Andy made in Child's Play?" Yeah, that was like a disaster. But I give him credit. It was a cute scene, wasn't it? Amber saying, "Everyone have a fabulous day." Absolutely. Corey saying, "Great stream. Excited to hear that sign-off line. I'm ready." Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Thanks, though, Gory. I appreciate that. Michael saying, "Bye, Night. Awesome stream." Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Blucka saying, "See you later, everyone." Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'll be catching up with you later as well. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. That's going to be awesome. Who knows? Maybe some things will be happening later on today. A lot of exciting stuff. It'll be a fun couple of days. And yeah, I can't wait to, enjoy some more horror with you guys. So have a good day. Thank you so much. And Gory, here we go. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.